Alrighty, so welcome to episode 5 of The Death Penalty. I'm here with Josh and Stephen from the Faim.
Oh, yes. Hello.
We are great.
We are good. Very good. Even better now with this fancy glass of beer.
Yeah, so what is it? Epic Brewing. It's a American IPA, I think it is. We bought a special growler for the show.
Local bottle store.
Yeah. I don't even know those jugs existed. It's like a medieval mead glass.
They're
It's
awesome.
like-
For some reason, it's so much more satisfying drinking out of that than a...
Yeah, I
The
know.
aesthetic of it just pleases me.
I know, it really does.
I think we're going to have to do a mead episode now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, mead's an interesting thing, man.
We should try and make it.
Yeah.
Do a YouTube video and make it. And then,
Even just a nice word, mead.
We'll drink mead and we'll eat chicken just with our bare hands.
Oh, that is.
You have to
very
drink the
tempting.
mead with your hands as well.
I went to medieval times, like when I was in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you just they
Oh,
give you
it's so
pewter mugs
good.
to drink out of, and you eat just chicken with your hands.
Oh, you get to watch a glad. That's so good.
That means so awesome.
Yeah, it's
So good.
ridiculous.
We wanted to do that when we were in there. Hey, but we didn't end up getting the chance because we were so flat out all the time over there.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
supposed to have
Where
like
was
a
that?
week off after our first trip to the States, and we had all this planned. We had it all planned. We're supposed to go to like Anaheim and then spend like another week in LA, go to Hollywood, but then we ended up getting asked to stay back at the studio. We're like, even better. So we
Yeah,
got to stay back
exactly.
in the studio for another like 10, 11 days, something like that.
Oh, fuck.
So the
yeah.
and we're supposed to go to the medieval thing in
Yeah.
Anaheim. So they'll just have to wait for the next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
We need to get songs done. Right?
Yeah.
We had to work.
That's not meant to happen.
Is that your message tone? Is that a message
It
tone?
is actually, it's my ringtone. No, I was going to say before, because I suppose there's people out there that don't know about what you guys have been up to. Do you want to just give a bit of background on, how you got to go to the States to record and what that was like, and just...
Sure. Do you want to?
I'll kick it off.
Go for it.
Just
Kick it off,
for a
mate.
sec, just speak, turn
Oh.
into the mic when you talk.
No worries.
Yeah.
No
Look away
worries.
from me.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't. I
Is
keep
that
staring
too
at it. It
high?
looks so
Maybe
good.
lower it a bit if.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, just get it comfortable wherever.
Yeah, that's good.
Slouch, get your
Yeah.
slouch on.
Yeah, no,
I'm
perfect.
always on the good old slouch.
Yeah, now I'll just look awkward doing it.
You're okay. You don't have to mouth it. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got so we got hit up by Feldmann about it was in August of 2016.
Yeah.
So that feels like a lifetime ago now, eh?
Yeah.
Was.
Wow. And
Yes.
we got this email from him. Well, no, it was actually from his assistant at the time, Ali. And I almost fell out of bed when I was just checking my emails. It was a standard morning, just going through. And then we get this email saying work opportunities with John Feldmann. And literally just like freaked out. Then, so it was in a few stages.
Freaked
It was like
out.
the freak out stage. Then that's the stage where like just stopped caring because like, okay, obviously it's fake. Obviously it's like a spam, like trying to like get someone to look at their stuff.
Yeah.
But then I actually looked it up and it was legit. And then it went back to the freak out phase. So then I'm like calling all these guys. I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts.
I remember that.
And so from there, we had a call with John and like basically saying that, look, this is what we want to work towards, doing that new sound. So I want you to keep writing songs until we can get what we're looking for. And but like when like they spoke on the FaceTime, I was actually on the other side of the country, so I had to fly back like straight away. He's like, rewrite 2 of your songs in 2 days, and then we'll see what we can do. So I had to fly back from the other side of the country. Like, it was insane. We did like 2 sleepless nights, re-recording, rewriting our songs, and we did it. And then John gets back to us, write more songs.
Yeah.
And so that
And just
then
that.
began, just that.
Nothing else. Not even a title. Just
Yeah.
write more songs. Not even in capital letters. Just write more songs.
And
No
we-
full stop.
Really?
But we were super stoked with that. We're like, hell yeah, he wants to
Yeah.
hear more songs.
Yeah.
And so then became the journey
Yeah.
of getting to the States,
Yeah.
which took us till it was like April.
Yeah, it was April.
I think it was about April of 2017
Yeah.
when we first got there to start recording music, and it was 30 ideas,
Yeah.
song ideas later. So we spent like we wrote about 2 half songs a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my phone on silent so it doesn't
Yeah. Oh, mate.
And so it was 2 half songs a week leading up to that. So we did 30 song ideas. And once we hit the studio, it was 2 songs a day.
Oof.
2 full songs a day. So it was
Shit.
going nuts.
Minimum.
Is that
Paul-
writing brand new songs? 2 new songs a day?
Brand new.
Yeah.
Write and record. So poor
Yeah.
Joshy is like in the writing room, writes the songs like, all right, go track it. tracks for a few hours, and then we come back, write another one.
Yeah.
Start tracking the next one for a few hours.
We had a good system going, you know, like you record the keys and just be smashing it out. Like it was all like, it was very full on, very like fast paced, energetic, and just everyone was working towards a common goal. Like it was really, really.
And you didn't have
exciting.
trouble with your voice doing that?
At times, definitely. Like, because like afterwards he'd be like, what did John tell us what we have to do later on that night?
Oh,
Go
yeah.
on, at the end of a day of recording, he'd be like, okay, now you're going to go out and meet people. You're going to go out and you're going to meet
Fucking
people.
hell.
You're going to
Yeah.
go to shows. You're going to meet people. And we'd have to go out and hang out. And, like,
And it
meet
was
people.
great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great. But and
How
then
did
get up the
John-
next day for the studio and then...
How did he find you? Like, was it just random? Did he just randomly find you guys? Or
Well, it was an Instagram post that we saw, actually, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
like...
So we
touring?
so Feldy was like this is the funniest thing. So Feldy posts on his Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. He's like, bands with touring experience hit me up for demos, and we're like, well, we've never toured, but we're gonna give it a crack anyway. Like, why not?
Whatever, why not?
So we sent this email just thinking like, okay, like this is us, you know, like we're dedicated musicians. This is all we want to be doing for the rest of our life. Here's our demos. Like, here's the cover that we've done. Like, we just like threw it all at him, and then pretty much forgot about it because we didn't think he'd like it like even read it or hear back. And then, yeah, chances are like he saw the potential, and then hit us back up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ryan
wow.
saw the all-time low cover, didn't he?
Yeah, and then
John's assistant.
yeah, and so then they chucked it back to Feldy, and then
I love that you've given him an Aussie nickname too. Feldy.
yeah, Feldy is the nickname. That's,
Yeah, it is. It kind of caught on, didn't it? We didn't really just kind of just fell into it.
yeah.
It was like
That's
John
crazy.
Feldman. John Feldman, just like constantly, just like so
Yeah.
worried about.
Very formal.
That was
kinda
sounds so
scared of him.
formal.
But he's a
Yeah.
Crazy.
casual dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
very
it's really
chill.
easy to work with and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like casual and super energetic at the same time.
Super intense.
Like you're just like going absolutely crazy. So like we'd have a coffee like once every few hours,
Yeah.
and just be like pinging like off our face.
He'd have the quad.
Like he'd have quad shot coffees. Like that man, he's very serious about his coffee.
Yeah.
Like
He makes good coffee too.
oh yeah, he's got this like spaceship machine in his wall.
Great. It's like
Yeah,
Star
right.
Trek
Makes, like-
Voyagers. sort of
Oh,
Like a
Ma-
legit Italian espresso machine or something.
it is just the
Like
most
full
legit
on.
out of this world machine.
shit. Well, it's like built into the wall. Like it's actually got a computer screen.
It's nuts. It's
Really
nuts.
good.
It's like a big computer screen. You're like, this is what I want. I'm like, all I know is coffee. I'm just going to click normal coffee. And it's got like all these settings. I'm like,
Yeah.
just normal coffee. Thanks.
Yeah.
you just click a button and his house takes off. So
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I'm out.
This is
Legit.
welcome to
It's
the
like
real
just a secret
studio.
door. Well, like legit, we were probably addicted to coffee by like the end of it. Honestly,
was so
like,
good.
It was
not a
it was-
bad
but in a good
addiction,
way. In a
though.
good,
It certainly
It is not.
sounds like he's needed it. Sounds pretty hectic.
Nah, it's full on. The
Was it
workload
did he
mental?
did he have a lot of input when you guys were writing songs, or did he just kind of let you guys
Well, we
do your own
mainly
thing?
talked a lot. Like we mainly he definitely had input in the songs. Like we all had a collective input in the songs, but like
Yeah.
all the songs sort of came about by just talking about either a story or something we want to write about or a message, and we all kind of just put in our own little piece of it and then just start constructing it from there. Sort of thing.
Yeah,
But he
okay.
definitely had a huge way
Oh,
in
yeah.
how he shaped our songwriting process and how we kind of perceived how to really where we wanted to get our message from and how to really find the real parts of what we want to put out there.
Yeah, right. That's really interesting because you guys are quite young. It's interesting
Oh,
to
thanks.
see. Well, compared to us old fucks.
We feel
Yeah.
old.
Josh
we feel
is
very
Josh
old.
was born when the Sphinx was made.
I
It's-
get this every episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be a recurring thing.
No, it's interesting to hear some young dudes who don't have that. I'm sure you've worked with other musicians of like, these are my songs, don't touch them. Whereas you guys seem to have got your head screwed on with that, and taken on the. Obviously, Feldman's a huge producer and all that. He's obviously
Yeah.
got something to offer. So
Like, yeah,
Well, and-
you got to go in there with an open mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you're never going to get anywhere by like rejecting like the ideas of someone else, especially when you're all working towards like getting like the common goal, which is that like getting a great song.
yeah,
So that's, you walk into the studio like, look, we're going to write an awesome song today. We're going to write 2 awesome songs today. And then you get in there, it's like us, Feldy, we're all in the room together, whichever co-writer like comes in, we're all in the room together. I'm like, all right, let's write a dope song. And that's the common goal. Like someone comes up with an idea, you're open to it. It's like, wow, that's not something we'd usually do, but we go with it. We go with it anyway. And you usually get like the best of both worlds when you have everyone sharing their ideas and like everyone is open to each person's like contribution.
Yeah.
And then that's when you like you really get gold.
yeah. It seems to work. That new single's really cool.
Yeah.
I was listening to it, and I think my girlfriend said that it kind of sounded like Fall Out Boy meets Panic at the Disco. I don't know if you would take that as a compliment, depending on your musical taste, but I thought that was
I see it as like I need to go home and practice because like Brendan Urie's a god. You know, like,
no, the vocals are sick.
I think your vocal style is quite similar too.
Oh,
That song's an absolute tune.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah,
well
definitely.
done.
Oh, thanks,
really
man.
like
We've never heard the comparison.
Yeah,
to
never,
Fall Out Boy
not
or
once.
Panic before, have we? But it's chill, you know.
Yeah.
What
Like-
do you get normally? What are the
Oh no,
comparisons?
that is.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
That was your sarcasm detectors.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. I'm tired. Like I said, we went to that concert last night, and I've been walking around like a fucking zombie.
Nah,
all
you're all
day.
good.
Oh
man.
wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was Roger Waters. It was like the craziest fucking light show. There was lasers, and they had like this projector that filled up like the whole bottom of the arena. Basically, it was like these.
Really?
There was a pig flying around, and
Yeah,
it
the
was
pig
insane.
drone.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy
That's
production.
That's mental.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like you're like
Ideas for a
that's
tour?
What happens
Ideas for
when
tour?
you've got millions and millions. of
Yeah,
dollars.
exactly. You can have
That's
pigs
what-
flying around at your
So,
show.
so when you boys blow up, we expect flying fucking pigs.
Nah, Stevie will be flying around with a jetpack
I'll put a pig suit on.
and a
Turns-
keyboard.
Turn Steve into a drone.
Rocket.
I'd love that. I want a jetpack
Yeah.
and a keytar.
No, I reckon we should make it happen. The real Rocket Man.
I'll fly through the crowd. No more crowd surfing. I'll just
Yeah.
fly straight over them.
That's your claim to fame, eh? The real rocket man.
Hell yeah, I'd be
You're
down.
like, fuck Elton John. We're
Yeah.
the real rocket man.
So do you guys have a whole album written already?
Yeah, we have
Yes, we do.
like, geez, there must be like, so we wrote all up, like counting the ideas beforehand, it was like 60 songs from them till now. And there'll be there's about 16 or so like in the works, something along that. And they'll be released like throughout the year.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just going to trickle them out. You're not going to do a full album, or
So the next step is an EP,
Yep.
which will be released soonish. And then after that, be a few singles, and then leading up to the album, which will be coming later this year.
Yeah.
awesome. It's very exciting.
I'd like to go back a little. You started out as Small Town Heroes, right?
Did.
Just so everyone knows. So what was the go with changing your name, and you know when did that happen? Is it a new band? Is there new members, or same band and it's just a stylistic change?
Yeah, well, we're definitely still the same band. It's more the fact that we feel like our sound has taken such a different turn, and our perspective of music has taken it's really opened us up to a whole new world of like writing music and being able to put something else out there. And we felt like Small Town Heroes just wasn't the way for us to really put that out there, you know. And we really wanted to talk about something that was going to be relatable for our music career for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
pretty
Small
much.
Town Heroes is pop punk as
It is.
fuck.
It's
pop
It's
punk,
like a
it
bit
is.
of a ceiling, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it's like, that's like Small Town Heroes was like the pop punk roof
Yeah.
that we wanted to expand. Like you hear something like a name like Coldplay, you don't even think of a genre
Yeah.
when you think of that name. It's just
Yeah,
like
that's
this open roof. Like you think of like a Paramore or like Maroon 5. Like you don't specifically think a certain genre with those names. And we wanted something open that we could, because genres have become so fluid now that we don't want to be like, we don't ever want to have like, okay, this is our band, this is our genre. Like we want to be like constantly moving, like just moving around, like not even moving forward, just
Definitely.
around, just like everywhere with our sound, like our music. And yeah, so we didn't want our name to be in any way constricting to that.
Yeah,
To a genre,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's smart. Yeah.
We kind of had the same thing when we were thinking of a name for this podcast, obviously much smaller scale, but the death penalty, I was like, I don't know, it kind of sounds like a metal thing, and we didn't want it to be like that, because we want to just have whoever, you know, like you guys aren't metal at all.
Yeah.
We want to just be able to have whatever we want on, so it was like, I get what you mean, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to restrict yourself with the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was our mindset as well, like our perspective to writing. Everything was so open and so real, you know, that's what we really wanted to kind of reflect with the name. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Our hunger to really push forward with music, like it really,
Yeah, that's really cool.
really fits for us.
So how did you guys meet? Did you all go to school together and do music together or something? Or?
Yeah, Josh, our guitarist Mike, and I, we all went to high school together. And
In Perth?
it's funny.
Did you meet in Perth?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Perth, in good old La Salle College.
Yes.
Middle Swan.
Matter of fact.
But like Mike, Josh, and I were in cert music class together. Mike was in the year above us but we didn't have enough people to like have our own individual classes, because you know that's a thing. So we had to like
no one likes
combine the music classes together. And Mike and I were in a group. We're writing grunge music, so we're writing this grunge song. And Mike's like, "Hey, do you want to come back to mine to record it?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, dope!" So we came back and started recording this grunge song through we were recording the vocals through a Zoom pedal. And it's like, wow, like what are we doing? Like, oh man, it was so bad.
I had one of those too, man. We used to use it for a drum machine back in the day.
They're pretty good, man. Like, they're pretty useful.
So bad. That was the time. That was humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey, like we should totally start a band. I was like, Mike's like, hey, you know a vocalist? I'm like, I do know a vocalist. I know Josh.
Yeah.
So I was like, Josh, you want to be in a band? And Josh was like, yeah. I'm like,
hell yeah.
Chill.
And we did like a few random performances at school and stuff like that as well. And we were
that was the time.
Yeah, it was a time and a half.
And then we found Shauno later on through his YouTube covers.
Yeah.
And soon after he joined us.
Yeah, everything kicked into gear pretty much.
Yeah, right. Then. Do you think it's like I hear people talk about it a lot, and you see it a bit with touring and stuff, that bands are reluctant to come to Perth. You see they do an Australian tour and it's just Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne. Do you think being in Perth is restrictive for a band's success?
It is to an extent, but it depends what your mindset is. Because, I mean, obviously we're a lot far away from Sydney and a lot of other places that are much, to an extent, easier to tour. And, like, there's a lot of problems with the identity of coming to Perth with all the festivals and, like, fences being knocked over, people jumping, like, certain disrespect and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like there still is such a passion and an avid scene for people who want to hear music and want to see music, but there's just, like, a bit of a clouded identity amongst with the distance, which kind of makes it hard for people. Yeah. And I feel like once people kind of open themselves up to more, like, because there needs to, like, it's hard for a band with no venues and stuff around here as well. Like, there needs to be more room for expansion. But I feel like with the community growing and stuff like that as well, it just takes time to kind of re-identify ourselves as something more accessible.
Yeah, they shut down a lot of the smaller venues. We
exactly.
Remember Yayas? They had a few little ones. And that was a great way for young bands to get involved and, start playing shows, and then you're ready for bigger venues. But now they've fucked a lot of them off. And,
they've cancelled so many recently. Yeah. It's really unfortunate.
It is. It's a fucking shame because, Yeah,
I was going to ask, like, because, like, you guys are obviously in a bit of a different music scene with the type of music you play, because we play in a band that's it's like melodic metalcore, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know if it's probably different venues, like, but even for us, I mean, heavier music's always been a bit. There's always less venues, obviously. But I was wondering for you guys, do you feel that squeeze? Yeah,
a little bit. Like, what's like the big thing that's helped is definitely like social media. Like to get your music out there, to get people down to shows, like that's just like the biggest part, which has made Perth a lot more, a lot more accessible in that sort of way. But then like with gigs, like it's definitely like a lot of them do overlap, like with like genre.
Yeah.
And like if you are on like the pop side of music, like of that spectrum of music, it definitely is a lot harder to find your place, where like to find your audience like in the live scene, because it definitely like the Perth scene at the moment definitely does reflect the heavier bands as like that's the sort of venues that are out. But then if you're a pop artist, it's definitely, I would definitely say it's a lot harder to sort of find your mark in terms of live performance and getting the crowd that like is most suited towards you.
It's probably because lately a lot of the big bands that are coming out of here are heavy. We've had Made Them Suffer, Saviour were big for a while.
Yeah.
So there probably hasn't been a pop punk artist or someone from that poppier side.
Yeah. Well, Tame Impala's probably the closest thing, really.
It's true.
And
it's not really poppy, it's indie.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and that's saying something there.
Yeah. and it's more like there is people who do want to hear it. I just feel like there's no, like, it doesn't get advertised enough. Like, we went out, handed flyers, met people, held meet and greets, and we'd almost force conversations with random people at shows and sort of thing, just to kind of, not like being like intrusive, but just kind of fill them in on what we like, who we are, what our band is like. And people are interested, you get like people who aren't, of course, but like I feel like that's another definitive factor that helps when you're trying to grow in a place that's hard to.
Well, I think pop punk's definitely made a comeback. Like, and what you guys are doing too is like pop rock or with a punky edge, but that's huge. People love that shit. There's definitely a big market for it. I think there's just not really anyone doing it well here, but you guys like are killing it with that. So maybe you'll fill that gap. Eh?
Oh well,
Yeah.
we hope so. That's the aim.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of our sound, but we've definitely got diversity amongst
Yeah.
the other songs
It's
for sure.
coming.
It's
Cool.
coming, yeah.
It's always hard when you
And the
just
songs
got
too.
one song out and you're like sitting on shit that nobody else knows.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like, this is not our only sound.
It's all on a computer. It's all on a computer.
It's right there on my phone.
Yeah.
You come out with a straight grindcore album.
Yeah, exactly.
Bet you guys
Meme.
Get memed,
like
take
6
that.
minutes
Folk
long.
album incoming.
We're just waiting for April Fool's Day so we can
Yeah.
meme the world.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Bublé Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas album incoming.
So how do you guys approach when you're recording and stuff, and for live shows and stuff? How do you guys feel about the analog digital sort of battlefront that's going on? I'm interested to hear from a different genre's perspective.
Well, we're all digital live now,
Yeah.
which is great for us. Like, the best thing about it is for travel.
Yeah.
So, like,
We're on board with that.
oh yeah.
Definitely.
So, like, we can fit all of our live gear, like, all our heads, our digital heads, just in one case. All the wireless is one case, and then our in-ears one case, and then it's like get it light enough, and then travel it around the world
Yeah.
and chuck it in the back of a van. If we were having to use cabs and those heavy like Ampeg heads, like those heads are heavy.
Oh,
it
if you're
costs
still
so much
using
money.
those,
Still-
what are you doing? It's
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
We have the technology.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
just makes life so easy, and then you just have like you good old MIDI pedal, change the patches on the digital head,
What are you
Yeah.
playing? Axe effects or Kempers or?
Axe effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had a look at the new one, the Axe FX 3?
I have
No.
not.
Oh man, it looks so hot.
I'm
got
feeling
like
like,
a-
it's going to tickle my
It's
fancy.
got like
Yeah.
a full color
And the Axe-
display on it now.
The Axe 2
Oh, hell
already though, it's like such a consistent sound. It's so like
Yeah.
it's so reliable, especially with tour as well, because it'd be so
Yeah.
good for like you guys have such a like this. The tones and stuff are so important, and it's so reliable. Like every time, every show, it's always good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the same every time,
Yeah.
especially when you have in-ears. You don't have nights where you're like, fuck, I was too loud
Yeah,
tonight and it
exactly.
put me
Yeah.
off, or this venue sucks. It just, for you, it's always the same.
Yeah.
You
that's
just
it.
take the front off and plug it in and it's go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone uses it now. Like every Metallica use them. Even the police use Axe effects. You know,
Real,
like,
yeah.
you go on their site and see the bands
Yeah,
that are using
definitely.
them. They may have a wall of Marshall cabs, but they ain't using
Yeah, they're not
those.
using those, using
They're
the
probably
Axe.
cardboard boxes.
Well, some people even just play it through the PA most of the
Yeah,
time as well. You'd
yeah.
be surprised how often that happens as well.
So you guys run yours through, just borrow cabs on tour? Is that how you do it? And run
Well,
them straight through?
we're skipping cabs altogether.
Yeah,
going through the
so
PA.
we just go through the PA.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
be doing that as
Yeah,
well.
I don't. I think it defeats the purpose. Really, I mean, unless you're playing some shitty ass venue in someone's basement, you're probably with a shit PA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, right?
And we need the flight, like the cost of like
Yeah, mate.
taking
Yeah.
all that stuff would just be
Well,
too
you
much
gotta
for
have
us.
a power head.
Yeah,
Power
Yeah.
for it too.
Yeah, it's just way easier. It's crazy. I asked because there's certain genres that are really resisting that. It's not the same. You don't get
Really?
that feeling of it moving air around
Oh,
you. It's
yeah.
like,
Really?
is
I've
that
heard that.
feeling worth
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Why?
Shut the fuck up.
I feel that. It comes back to the point of you just got to be open. It's like, yeah, sure. If you like feeling your air, that's great. Like you. But
Go
that's like,
stand in the wind.
yeah.
You like feeling your air.
That's their thing. That's their thing. The music's like that. Everyone appreciates their own musical sound. But when the things are out there, that's going to make your life a lot easier, and the sounds are still to the untrained. Let's call it to the untrained ear. Sound the
Very
same,
polite.
trained or untrained.
Well, I think once they're mixed, if you can tell the difference, you're probably just talking shit.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're so close
But
now.
yeah, everyone has their like sort of the thing that they like hearing. But yeah, it just comes down to the fact that it makes our lives about 30 to 50 times
Yeah,
easier.
exactly.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what we're going to do.
I could not. Like, it's just the best thing ever. Hey, like,
Yeah.
you get one, you're just like, why wasn't I doing this a long time ago?
Exactly.
You just want to throw your
Yeah.
head off the balcony. Just
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the-
Yeah.
I think people are skeptical too because it's kind of like too good to be true.
Yeah,
You just buy
exactly.
this
Yeah.
one little box and it's got everything in it. You're like, are you sure? And
Yeah.
then you get one, you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, it's amazing.
And a lot of people, because it's so new, people are used to doing it a certain way. Like people
Yeah.
like, to an extent, lugging around their cabs and all that sort of stuff, which is a cool part of it. But at the same time, we want something reliable, consistent, and good.
Yeah.
Fuck, I shouldn't be toasting it so bad because I'm trying to sell my EVH. Hey, they're actually shit. And
That's
EVHs
my
are the
EVH.
best.
That's my old EVH.
I know, I bought
I
it
saw
off
it.
you. No, I need
Oh,
this.
wow.
You want to buy it?
Yeah, goodbye digital.
Nah. I'm good. I've got an Axe FX too now.
Yeah.
So do you guys think you'll stay in Perth with the success of the band, or do you think it logistically makes sense to move to Sydney or even LA, something like that?
At this point in time, it's going to be us on the road touring for the
Yeah.
next who knows how long. So
Right.
Forever.
like our first lineup is 11 weeks, and then we'll come back here. The plan is to just have a quick break.
So what's
and
your
then be out
first?
again.
Get back to it.
Can you drop? Is that
Oh
out?
yeah,
Or-
that's all out. So we're
Yeah.
hitting up the UK first with
Yep.
Lower than Atlantis.
Mm.
So we've got 2 weeks there. We fly straight back to Oz, and we do an Australian-New Zealand tour with Sleeping with Sirens.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And then straight back to the UK again. And we've got another 2 weeks with Lower than Atlantis.
Hey, who organised that?
The man,
Go
Rob,
to UK,
Dad.
UK once.
Yeah.
Why are you going back and forth?
That's actually the same tour, but Lower than Atlantis are opening for Sleeping
Yeah.
with Sirens. They cut theirs in
They
half.
come with us, yeah.
Right.
And so they split their big 4-week tour in half and got the Sleeping with Sirens in the middle.
All right, very cool.
Then we're doing some stuff which is not announced, but we'll be chilling around and playing some cool shows which will be announced soon.
Sure.
Nice.
Then we're playing Download Festival,
Yeah.
which is
Fine,
super
Melbourne.
rad.
Exciting, yes.
Is that the
Very exciting.
Australian one, or are you playing the UK?
That's the UK one.
UK.
Yeah, I,
Oh,
did,
no
I saw you
shit.
guys on the poster. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah,
It'll be
the
such a dope
UK
time.
one
A lot
is-
of our
We were
idols
like
are there.
so stoked when we heard that news. We're like, oh my god!
We're like, both my Valentine. That's like high school year 10.
Who doesn't like a bit of bullet?
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
so good.
Always got a soft spot for it.
Hearts Turn into Fire was just my my year 10 jam.
You guys also have a show on Friday, right? Is this
Mhm.
Friday?
We do.
Yeah.
We most certainly do.
Amplified.
Our last 18 plus
Our last,
show.
yeah, it's our last
Before
18
we,
plus
uh,
one before we
go away,
kick
yeah.
it.
Yeah, right, nice.
Kick it, yeah.
And then we'll be back. Yeah, our next show in Perth, well, next like show in Perth after we head back will be the Sleeping with Sirens one, and then who knows?
Yeah.
So come see us while you can, whoever's
Yeah,
listening.
Yeah, how do we get
We have
tickets
all
for
ages
that?
afterwards.
Don't take it
but
for
yeah.
granted.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that just tickets at the door, or can you buy
Yeah, yeah.
tickets online?
Yeah,
tickets at the door.
Who are you
Yeah.
playing with on Friday?
We are playing with JFK, the Encounters. Oh, this is going my memory. Oh no.
I actually have the poster saved in the
that
notes
is
for
amazing.
this boys.
Oh, and Fox and Kings.
Fox and Kings. That's the
Fox
one.
and
Kings.
There we go.
I didn't mean to throw you in the deep end.
They're
there.
great band. They are a great band. We just have terrible memories.
Terrible.
Oh, it's
memory.
hard. I mean, you guys are on so many dates. It's
Yeah,
gonna be,
Oh, there's,
Yeah,
there's
man.
lots and lots of
It's gonna be
dates.
hard.
And then we got to remember our own songs.
Yeah. What are we even playing?
Yeah, we're like, what are we doing?
So, are you playing any of these new songs live, or are you playing?
Oh, of course.
Yeah?
We're playing we only play our new songs.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
you get to
No-
this gig, you can hear like a taste of what's coming.
Oh,
then.
more than a taste.
You'll
Yeah.
you'll hear a
You'll get
lot
it.
of what's
Yeah.
coming.
You'll get a mouthful.
Very
You'll get
cool.
a bit of how you going.
We're playing, it's about like 11,
Yeah.
11 or so new songs.
Yeah, right. Wow.
So yeah, it's gonna be super dope.
And the response, so because we've been doing it for how long have we been playing the new songs for?
Oh, probably since like October.
Yeah,
I think.
October, and we've been getting a great response and stuff as well. It's interesting to see people's reaction who like the song, but they don't act because like obviously people don't know the words and people don't know like certain things. So it's just like it's interesting seeing like the different reactions and stuff. But we've gotten a great response,
Yeah.
like all the new songs and stuff.
I just can't
It's
wait.
exciting.
Can't wait for people to finally like learn the songs so they
Yeah,
can sing the lyrics
exactly.
back. It was
Cannot
so
wait.
sick. Finally, we released Saints. Like finally.
It won't take long, boys.
Yeah.
It'll
Exactly.
probably skyrocket for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I think
we'll
so,
just keep
yeah.
working hard in the meantime.
Yeah, and it was just so awesome. Like the first time we played Saints after releasing it, just having like the feedback in the crowd, finally like singing the
Yeah.
lyrics. We're like, yes,
The energy.
no, this is what we do it for. Like this energy
Yeah,
is back,
fucking
and
oath.
like this is just the beginning of it. So we're
Sure.
super stoked.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling when you go out and especially playing heavy music where no one can understand your vocal.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. And
No,
people are
definitely,
like
man.
screaming the words back and stuff.
yeah.
It's,
no, of
Extra
course.
props to them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How did Travis Barker get involved too? Because you've been working close with him.
Yeah,
and
so
John
We have
Feldmann.
been, yes.
Travis is like Travis also works with Feldmann a lot.
Yep.
So they're closely intertwined.
Yeah.
So we work with Travis and we work with John. It's all like part of the big family.
Yeah.
So
What was his role for you guys alongside John? Is he just producing as well? Or?
Well, he had an input on the songs, and of course, he
Yeah.
had an input on the music video. And stuff
yeah,
like that
just
as well.
like the all round input, like advertising,
Yeah.
a lot, a lot of just basically input and his professionalism and his
Yeah.
experience,
Definitely. He's a
just
very
going in that
intelligent guy.
direction.
Yeah.
Very, very smart business wise. Yeah, very intelligent guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, plays in Blink. What can you say?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
knows his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just also, I suppose, the way he's marketed everything he's done.
Mhm.
Hey, he was always the face of all his projects.
Yeah.
Jackson, he was the drummer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know,
it's
right?
pretty
Exactly.
impressive.
The guy's the marketing genius. Like
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
extremely intelligent.
Transplants, man. They
Yeah,
got huge because
exactly.
of him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
legit.
exactly. And even like his company's Famous Stars and Straps and
Yeah.
like Restaurant Crossroads, like all vegan restaurant. Like he's
Oh, I didn't
very
know about
intelligent
that.
with the way that he puts himself out there for sure.
Yeah,
very
right, I didn't
passionate
know he had a
about his
restaurant
beliefs.
too. That's insane.
Yeah, it's really good. One of the chefs, Chef Ito, he took me
Yeah.
there. He took me there one night, and we had these vegan burgers, which tasted way better than any burger I've ever had. Like it's
I'm
like,
in disbelief. I
So
don't know
oh
if I
no,
believe
so
you.
oh
jealous.
no, I shit you not. Like
Wait, I can't. What happened?
this was after the Peter party at John,
Oh, that's right.
and I went with Chef. We went out to the club. This was like before we ran into Shawn Mendes.
That's right. Yeah.
And then so we're chilling, and then Chef takes me into Crossroads, and then he's like, okay, like three vegan burgers for Steve. I'm like, oh, sick. And so I get this burger. I'm like, okay, slightly doubtful. I'm like, okay, vegan burger. Oh, here we go. And it was freaking phenomenal. Like the meat tasted better than normal meat, and it wasn't meat.
and he likes his meat. He's
And I like my meat.
Yeah.
I like my meat.
I do too.
and his steak too.
yeah. And yeah. But yeah, you have to try it to
Yeah.
to believe.
Can't
doesn't
believe
really
you'd
rhyme.
make
It's
a
not like
gay
seem to
joke in
believe,
this
but-
year.
He brought food to the studio as well, didn't he? Like,
Yes.
There was like prawns, but they weren't prawns. They were like, were they prawns?
They were
Shrimp.
prawns that weren't prawns, or shrimp that weren't shrimp.
Yeah, either
Wow.
either, and they were incredible,
So
man.
good.
Like beef stroganoff, there was no beef in it. It tasted better than anything. Like
The best mushrooms you
Yeah.
ever taste in your
they
life.
use like plant plasmas or something. I haven't looked into it too much, but it's very interesting.
I would love to know why they spend so much time and effort into making things look and taste like meat when they hate it. It's like,
Well, I was a vegan, so I can answer this question. It's
There
good.
you go.
Most vegans don't hate meat. They just don't like
They hate
where it
themselves.
comes from.
Yeah,
they don't
where
like
it's
the
coming from. Exactly. And it honestly tastes like the fried chicken and waffles vegan. It like I've never had it, but like from what it looks and seems like, it looks incredible. And
Well,
you
like,
could have the alternative.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Stephen, like I believe it because I've had some vegan
Yeah.
Yeah.
meat that is legitimately amazing. And my dad's like this fucking old school Aussie dude. He would never intentionally eat vegan food. And when we were in Vietnam, we went to this vegan restaurant there, and he mowed down on all the food there without any idea it wasn't real meat.
Yeah.
And he actually said, "Oh, that was the most tender beef I've ever had." And as we were walking out, I dropped it on him. He's like, "You cunt."
Starts vomiting straight away.
Yeah. What have I done? one of the
Falls
highlights
with
in the
knees.
studio was actually the vegan tacos that we had.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
good. So like we'd make vegan
Incredible.
tacos like it would be like once a week. Afterwards, it was almost once a day.
Yeah.
And then
So
we were getting on the vegan taco train. It was so good. That oh man, that was one of the
vegan
highlights.
taco
Yeah.
train.
That sounds so funny, eh?
Yeah.
What were we
That's
eating the whole
something
time?
else.
I think
Sounds
you-
like a vegan orgy.
I think
Yeah.
it's called.
Vegan taco train.
Oh gosh.
I think it's pronounced hippie pussy.
Well, like, besides vegan tacos, what were we eating like the whole time?
We had like we had like $2 like frozen meals.
And toasted sandwiches.
And toasted sandwiches.
That waffle
No,
maker.
Oh.
No
that we
wonder
used
you
as a
like-
toasting machine the whole time. Both trips, it was still there. A
Yeah.
waffle machine, mustard, ham, and chicken or whatever meat we had.
Bit of turkey, bit of the
turkey.
stringy turkey.
Never had turkey, but it was alright. And
Yeah.
mustard and avocado.
And if we're Spurgeon, yeah, we have an avocado.
Yeah. And if we're feeling a bit adventurous, some cheese.
Oh yeah.
No wonder you like the fucking vegan food when you're just
Yeah.
eating $2 frozen
Yeah, I know,
meals.
right?
You're just like, oh, this tastes like cardboard, but
Yeah.
yeah, you got fucking out.
It's the best thing we can afford.
Yeah, exactly. Man. The food over there is like interesting, man. Like, I mean, it's a whole different world over there, especially like fast food. Very different to like here. I mean, obviously that's a common thought, but like it's like going into the servo and like the unlimited cheese on the nacho
cheese
cheese,
sauce.
yeah, and it's like out of a
get
And
machine.
the
outta
chili that
Oh,
comes
yeah,
out of the machine as
chili
well.
in the burgers.
Oh, I
That's
hate how they call
fuck.
it chili. It's like
It's not chili.
what
That's
is
not
it?
chili.
It's not. Yeah,
It's like
Michael had
mince
it, like,
with
a
gravy.
decent amount,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude,
How does meat? Well, it's probably not meat, but I was like, how does meat sit in a fucking bag for who knows how
Yeah,
long?
I know,
Come
right?
out of
Oh,
a machine
dude.
and not
Comes out
give
of
you
a
food
slushy
poisoning?
machine. Comes out of a slushy machine.
Oh,
Gross.
Meat slushies.
Yeah.
That sounds yum.
But I mean, we had good food. Like, if you can go to you go to the right place. I mean, there's some really good,
Oh, yeah.
good stuff there. And the
That's-
drink sizes, that blew my mind.
Oh gosh,
my
the drink
God.
sizes are insanely huge.
Yeah,
Well,
their
it's
their
64
medium is
ounces
like our
as well.
large.
Yeah.
Or our fucking
No,
small. is
they're,
like-
And
they're
unlimited
small
refills.
as our large. They actually at McDonald's,
Is it
just
really?
that
Yeah.
large cup is
Oh,
the
yeah.
It's
small.
crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unlimited refills as well. It's
Well,
Yeah.
how else are you gonna get fat?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly, man.
I'm pretty sure by capita we're fatter than them these
Yeah,
days.
we actually
Yeah,
are.
we are.
Exactly.
We can't talk. And
Yeah.
I will
We
sip
can't point
my beer
fingers.
to that.
The fact you said it in that tone with that fancy glass just made it even so much better.
You guys are on the West Coast too, are you, right? Or were you on the East Coast when you were doing your recording?
Don't it?
We were on the
California.
West Coast.
Yeah,
so
in LA, right?
In California.
California.
yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have tried, is it White King?
Oh,
No,
White
that's in
Castle.
New
White
York,
Castle.
And
yeah,
no.
Yeah, that's East
Jersey.
Coast.
No,
Yeah.
me and Michael saw the frozen White Castle burgers in like Ralph's.
Oh, really?
Ralph's, yeah, and then we were like, we got to try it.
It's funny, all that shit though. Is just it's because it's in a movie, and then you try it, and you're like, oh, it's just AIDS exactly like
Yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah.
It's fucking
Exactly.
shit.
I reckon.
We didn't even try McDonald's when we were
Yeah. Do we even have? I don't even think we had Macca's when we were there.
there. Hey.
Like the first time we went, we ate like sweet. I ate super unhealthily, and it was really bad. And I was like, but then the second time, I was just like on salads. Like every day, I just like eat salad
You were
and
good. You were good.
like try and just like eat way better.
Oh, sorry.
Because otherwise, you just like
alright, it's
you don't when you're hitting up the studio for like 10 to 12 hours a day, and then all you're eating is like what's that?
Sandwiches.
Taco Bell. Like you eat Taco Bell afterwards and a few
Oh,
sandwiches.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's not good. So you just got to like pack it with salads and good stuff to get yourself through.
Yeah.
Everyone bangs on about Taco Bell, and it's fucked. Like I do not like
Man,
it's sloppy.
it's
It's not
nothing special.
spicy.
I
It
was like,
tastes like fucking.
I'm just gonna throw
ass.
my hand up there. I've got a soft spot for it.
Oh really?
Oh,
but
mate.
like ever since we had it for breakfast that time,
Oh yeah,
never again. Like diet is actually so important, like so important,
Yeah.
especially when you're like
Well,
in this-
first for a
even for your
vocalist,
brain.
too.
Like it's just so like
Yeah.
uncluttered mind. Like you can just focus. Like
Well, for your vocals too, diet,
Yeah.
sleep. That's all a very
so
big
important,
part
man.
of it
So
too.
important. Even like stretching and just constant exercise and constantly just keeping. It's like a muscle just to maintain all the time.
then why didn't you have a gym with me, mate?
Exactly. I do sometimes. We've done it.
Calling him out.
I've been
even
better.
lift, bro.
Like, I've been better recently. Only the past like 2 weeks though.
You don't even lift,
But
bro.
I'm on.
come
Yeah, I'm on the road.
What's your deadlift, bro?
What's a lift dead?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
You got to get some of that gym time in
Nah,
on the
exactly.
Well,
man.
ways.
It is important.
road. Hey, you got your gym partner here, so that's
Exactly.
fine. That's
exactly.
half
I mean, he
the
does.
battle.
He has been. He's been giving me advice and stuff to like do at home and stuff. So he's been keeping me going. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good to work out with.
Gotta get him on it.
And Michael as well.
Got to go for those morning runs.
You do.
Every morning, you got to go
Every-
for those runs before tour.
It's
It's gonna
important.
you got
It's
to be the
true.
most ripped band on the tour.
That's the aim.
Because most bands in our genre are pretty small, dude.
Yeah.
So you can just walk in, maybe have no neck or something.
Yeah, just traps.
This
Have a
big
Henry
cloud of a
Rollins neck.
person.
If we can't sell our music, we just sell our bodies.
Sell your neck size.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, we're the band with the biggest necks
We'd
on the tour,
we'd
so
probably
it's gotta
make
count.
more money.
Learn how to get these traps for only $9.99 a month.
$9.99 a month. It's like those advertisements you see everywhere, like YouTube.
Do you guys have to go? You'd have to go back to LA to finish your record up then, or have you finished
It's,
it? It's all
yeah,
done.
pretty much.
all the recording's done.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah, right.
chill.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think we're planning to head back to America. It'll be sometime this year. We'll be
Yeah.
back in. Hopefully,
Cool.
hit
Thanks,
the studio again, which will
Yep.
be awesome.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's all in the planning stages at the moment. But for this cycle, like it's all recorded, and
Yep.
then it's just obviously everything else which needs to be done to it, and then we're well on our way.
Awesome. And have you had? I'm not sure. I had to look around. I couldn't see that you guys were on a label or anything. Have you had any interest from that?
Oh, we have. That's actually been announced. We're allowed to talk about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah,
Thumbs up. Yeah.
we signed last time we were in LA. We all got those signatures on the paper signed to BMG.
Yeah, right,
for a
nice.
worldwide record deal.
Fuck, that's amazing.
Stoked
So
about it.
Yeah, which is
walk
stoked,
us through the feeling when you did it.
Oh,
What did you do? Did you go out and
Just
get wasted?
calming.
No, I
just
think didn't we like go back to the show? No, we went for like a little brunch with Feldy.
yeah.
It was like we went to this dessert place and then got a brunch and it was really nice.
And then we went back to. Did we go back to this? I think we just went to the port and we just like sat down. We were like, "Wow,
We're like, hell
yeah,
yeah,
okay, we did it."
yeah, like oh, that's a thing.
And now
What did we do?
Yeah.
What did we do? I can't remember.
That's-
It's all I remember is that morning because it was just the best morning
Yeah,
ever.
it was.
And then everything else after that's like a blur because
Yeah.
like that day is just that morning
So
when
hype.
we're on like the freaking like 30th floor or something of this
Yeah.
building, like this so high up, just like overlooking like the Hollywood sign, everything like
Fuck
this.
yeah.
Very surreal.
This awesome building, and then they had all the papers there to sign. We're like, oh my god, and this is happening.
And they're all so nice as well. The team, they're also
Oh,
very
awesome.
devoted, very passionate, very intelligent, hardworking people. So we're so lucky to be with such an amazing group of people.
That's awesome,
To
man.
spin you guys out how quick this has all happened. I know you put a
Oh, yeah.
shitload of hard work in.
It's
but
been a lot of behind the scenes, but like,
Yeah.
guess
yeah, a lot of hard work in
Yeah.
that, but it's a couple years and it's
definitely.
it's just taken off.
You sort of just got to pinch yourself, you know. You're like, oh man, like you sort of think about it, it's like, wow, that's all happened. It's like you know, it started off like the dream was to like, oh man, we're gonna play our first show one day. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, the dream is like, oh man, just wait till we record like a full length album, like not just an EP. Oh, cool. So we done that, and it's like, oh man, imagine the dream, like working with like John Feldmann or working with the guys on Blink, like working with the guys on Fire. Oh, we've done that. Oh, shit. I was like, oh man. And then the next one was like, oh, imagine the dream getting signed. Oh, now we've done that. It's like, then the next dream was like touring, and now, wow, we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all these like dreams that we just like talked about. We only ever like spoke about them when we started off, and now you're just sort of like, holy shit, like it's all come together after obviously a lot of hard work and a great team. But
Yeah.
it's just super rad.
It's weird how that works, how we were
Yeah.
like obsessing about it beforehand and like even with like working with like Ash and like certain even specific people. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Like
how that works.
when we're like, you know, when we were younger and then we're like just talking about it, we literally like make up scenarios like, oh, just imagine this person walks into the room like, hey, we're going to write a song. And they're like, oh yeah.
And then it happened.
and now it's like legit what happens like when I'm tracking keys or something like that. I was tracking keys in the second studio and then like the door opens. I think it's Josh or Rob and it's freaking Pete Wentz. And I'm like, oh, hi there. And then it's like,
hell.
hi, I'm Pete. I'm like, yes, I know. That's who you are. And it's like that sort of thing where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is happening.
You know, I actually asked his name to be an asshole.
Oh, did you?
I was like, what's your name? And he's like,
Oh.
just kind of looked at me like, and I was like, I'm just joking.
What a twat.
Just
You're
trying to
a
take
twat.
him down a peg.
What's your name? Peter?
Yeah.
Pete?
Peter.
If he said, don't you know who I think I am, I would have been respect, man. If he quoted one of his own songs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's really cool. All that stuff's
Yeah.
happened. It's nice to see. You know, especially a band from Perth. It's fucking awesome to see like all that. You know, that happening for you boys.
I don't think it's
definitely, man.
I mean, from what you've said, it's no surprise really the amount of hard work you guys have put in. It's something a lot of bands don't
We love it.
do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2 songs a day that's a lot of work.
It is
It's a lot of
pretty
work.
It helps when you're in there and when you have the drive. And
Exactly. And when you've got all of us as a team, like doing it together, like,
Then, yeah.
I know,
It's a
we
team
couldn't do
effort.
it on our own.
Like,
It'd be terrifying.
even when you're in there, and it's not like, even if like not everyone's writing the song, it's like the fact that you have, oh, man, I'm
Yeah,
burning
right,
up.
bro.
It's like the fact that the other members of the band, like, if so, say like there's like either one of two of you that like when Josh is in the vocal booth, right? There's nothing I can do. He's in there for like 5 hours. Like, there's nothing I can do. I can only just like tell him what he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when he does a lot of things right, which is like 100% of the time.
Oh no, but you keep me on my toes. You do.
But yeah, so you just got to be there to support each other like through every single step
Oh,
because
definitely, man.
there's a lot of times when it like when you know writing 2 songs a day, none of us have ever done that before. So everyone's in their uncharted territory. Everyone's
Yeah.
in like a new spot, and so like that's when it's super important to just like be a unit,
Yeah.
and like get in there and do it together.
And especially because like we were writing about things that like we've either repressed, haven't talked about, or really like opened up to anyone, and like really getting down to the core of like something really real and special and stuff like that. Like it was a whole new experience for all of us being opened up like that and understanding more about each other and more about just the world. It was a very huge growing experience for us. We learnt a lot.
You probably spent a lot more time together than you'd ever spent.
Oh yeah, have we been getting more used to it?
I love it.
Leading up to there, we started spending every day together.
I've grown to love the arguments.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
It's a relationship. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
like
Yeah.
honestly, like if we were four passionate dudes and we weren't arguing, we wouldn't be doing something right.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
You know,
true.
it's
Yeah.
so good.
Fucking oath.
And
Most of it's just banter.
It is,
chill.
it is though. Like what do we really like argue about most of the time? Like
Just
clothes
getting
or like how to
frustration
cut
out.
an avocado or like
Yeah.
who makes
How to
the
cut
tea.
an avocado.
Oh, you would be
All right,
surprised.
tell me the other ways than cutting
okay,
and
you
twisting.
go,
so,
you
you,
go.
so you can either cut it like a normal
Rob's
person.
gonna
Hey,
love
hey,
this.
hey! Oh yeah, Rob.
Rob-
Hey Rob, if you're listening.
Love you, Dad.
So like, you can either cut, and Sean, if you're listening to this as well.
Not you.
So you can either cut an avocado like a normal person, and you cut it like you just cut the side,
Yeah.
and then you
To
leave the rest
seed
for everyone
and
else.
just open
Yeah.
it,
Or you could be like our drummer, Sean. Not that naming any names, but Sean.
yeah, Sean Tyre. Sean Tyre.
Sean Ty. Check him out on Instagram.
I think his middle name's Michael.
And you can like cut it from the top and then mutilate the entire avocado
It's so
and
weird.
literally just squash it all. Take one spoonful and then leave it squashed.
What? Seed in. He doesn't even take the seed.
He just like leaves the seed in, freaking squashes everything around it so he can take one nice sloppy spoonful
it's
and then
so
leave the
bad.
rest of it squashed just sitting on the bench.
And on top of that, he just,
Is he high?
left it. No, we're all fine. We're all completely level-headed, working hard, and we're just at home. And he left it on the plate as well. And Rob like sees it because he goes in one entry, like the avocado's here, and he'll stab it
He
like
goes through the
that.
top.
And he goes and just puts it on his toast, leaves the avocado uncovered, and just leaves it on the table. And Rob's like, "Sean, buddy, what have you done to this avocado?"
Poor avocado.
And Sean's like, "What do you mean?
I love
That's
the
how
Rob
I've
voice.
how I've
That
always
was on
cut it."
point.
Yeah, so I've always cut it like that. I've always done it like that. And then like Rob's like, "Well, are you at least going to put it back in the fridge?" He puts it back in the fridge, doesn't glad wrap it, just leaves it on the plate, like in the fridge.
Sean.
Oh,
Love it.
that's
So good.
It's so
I'm gonna
good.
Go out on a limb and say
the little
he
things.
is the only person in the world that does that.
Yeah.
It's the little.
I love it. I love it. It's those sort of like things that like we remember forever. Like I saw an avocado. I'm so annoyed at myself that I didn't buy this avocado shirt for Sean for his for Christmas. I was like, oh, so good. And then like just the other day, it's like it's just one of those memes. So when we were at like the hen house, we were like rehearsing, and then Sean bought an avocado like for lunch, and so we took a video of him like smashing it up and sent it to Rob.
That's
It's one of those memes. It's so good.
He needs to steal David Avocado, Wolf's nickname. Just Sean Avocado.
Yeah.
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 That's his last name.
he might be
Yes.
psychotic. That's it's a worrying thing to do. An avocado. It's borderline sexually assaulting. An avocado.
It's close enough.
Well, it's like it's all so part of what goes on, and like it was such a good part of like having like the laughter and the humor. That's a big part of what helps us like
Yeah.
deal with everything that's going on. Having a similar humor, similar taste in what we wanted to do, and just being able to make fun of each other and just
I'm
have a
actually-
good time, you know, and like still keep professional at the same time. Like,
I'm concerned that there's going to be avocados taking out the suits against you guys
the
soon.
people are going to
Yeah.
start throwing them at
The
the
Faim's
shows.
Yeah.
name ruined.
Yeah.
Drama assaulting avocado.
Sean charged with avocado assault.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I wanted to ask you guys, just the way you're talking about like writing and stuff, and you know you're all very close, obviously, having grown up together and all that. I get the impression there's like a real, for lack of a better term, safe space where you guys are able to throw out ideas that might not always work, but there's no.
Yeah.
It's like you see little kids when they work together, you know, they just throw their ideas
Yeah.
out without
It's
fear of judgment.
freedom of thought.
Yeah,
Like,
whereas
yeah.
in a lot of groups with, you know, adults and stuff, people
Definitely.
they're afraid of rejection or that
Yeah.
idea might suck. How important do you think that is with writing songs?
That is so
Huge.
like cannot even
In
stress
paramount.
like how
if not the most important.
like
Huge.
yeah, like crazy. Like so when you're in there in the writing session, if like you could come up with something that you think's bad, but like other people would think is good, and like even if you have a great idea that you want to express forward, like the amount of times where I'm like, oh, this is dope, and then like just gets no reaction. Everyone's like, no, it's not. And then but then if you keep going, and then like you know you suggest something else, but then like on your fifth suggestion, that's like boom,
Yeah.
like there it is. If you don't like put things out there like for everyone to hear, like you're never going to get forward, because that's when you know like you can progress that way.
Definitely.
It's like like the number one thing for that was writing our ideas to get to this point. So like from our old sound to our new sound was this progression of trying to get out, like to stretch what we knew from what we were doing and trying to stretch that to see what we could become.
Put ourselves out of our comfort zone.
And that was really hard because we were all trying to throw in our ideas, but we weren't sure oh gosh, we're used to this pop punk sound. Like, what do we do? But then we had to break that seal, and it's like, okay, not every idea is going to work, but through these ideas, through this trial and error process of just everyone saying, this is what I think, and just being completely open about it, that's how we then progressed into moving forward.
Yeah.
It's like, if you think of every idea, not like every idea you say is like developing. So like you could like write one song, but then if the more songs you write, like obviously the better you'll get. Obviously, like the more professional your writing will get, like the more mature your writing will get. It's the same on like a smaller scale with ideas in writing a song. If you only put forward one idea to the group when writing a song, it's gonna stay there. If each person puts 20 ideas into this one song, all of a sudden from the minute you started the song, it's been here to now it then just progresses all the way upwards because you've had 50 sub ideas into that song. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that
got
makes
their
perfect
unique
sense.
perspective as well, which that's why it adds so much because everyone's got their own personal interpretation of music. You could have said that better. That was perfect.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It made perfect sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Josh. A lot of bands sort of do, I don't know, from the bands I've been in and with heavier music, it's kind of like the vocalist kind of just hangs out until the song's finished and then he comes in and makes angry noises over it.
No,
Is that something that you guys do, or are you more involved with it?
I like to be involved as I possibly can. Me and Stephen were writing together. We've all written together. I've always been obsessed with words and lyrics and stuff like that. I actually musically, especially after being with these dudes, I was terrible with music. Like these guys really helped me open up my
The smile on his face,
yeah,
too.
like,
He was like,
he knows.
he was like, yeah, he
Even to
fucking
this day,
sucks.
Stephen is still teaching me to this day. But I feel like me knowing what I'm good at and me being open to learn and be able to explore what I want to be able to do. Because these guys, they know what they know, and I know what I can do and all that sort of stuff. We work together as a team and we all learn from each other. And I would hate to think that if I was in a band with 3 other dudes and I wasn't trying to do as much as I can, especially when everyone else is working so hard, I don't know how you could really keep going as a band, really. I mean, if not everyone's trying to, at least willing to put themselves forward all the time, you're never really going to go anywhere. So
Like if only every vocalist had that attitude, mate.
not just
At
vocals.
the same
either.
time, this is Josh is the most necessary, one of the most necessary parts. You think of a song, right? Any all the great songs that have been written, it's all about the melody. This is one of the big things with songs, especially these days. It's just all about the melody.
it really is.
All about the lyrics. And so if you don't have a vocalist if you have a vocalist which is singing a song that he doesn't have his heart in, then it's just it's very apparent. Which is why
definitely.
to have a vocalist really in with it, just meshing as another member of the band, and all contributing the same, it makes everything a lot more authentic when that's the highlight of a song. Any catchy tune, you're that's the melody, and those are the lyrics, and that's what first listeners. That's the only thing they hear on the first listen, really. Well, obviously it depends what genre you're listening to, but with music like ours, it's all about the vocals, it's all about the melody, and so having that process of connecting with the vocalist when writing the song is one of the biggest things.
And you can tell the difference between someone who isn't in the song and someone who isn't in it. We all have we see it as pieces of ourselves in this song, and I think that's why it comes across in our live performance, comes across in everything. We try and put that out there as much as possible.
Yeah, I think you can definitely, get away with a bit of not being completely in there in the studio, but you see a band live, and the vocalist is just not, maybe they came in and they're singing someone else's lyrics or whatever, they just don't have that connection. You can always tell straight away.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting what you said about what genre it is. The way, because I've always listened to heavy music, the way I listen to music is I go and see some of my favorite bands and I don't even know the words to some of their songs.
That's why I just wanted to specify that, because I'm Don't worry, I like my dope riffs as well. So like,
Oh, we appreciate metal. You like
oh
Periphery.
mate,
You like
Periphery
You
one of
went
my
to their
favorite
show?
bands. Like
we're big fans.
Spencer's vocals, Matt's
Yeah.
drums, Misha's freaking shredding.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm all on board the
Yeah.
riff train.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but like
Yeah.
with a lot of those bands, the most important parts are exactly what you talked about, the
Yeah.
lyrical
Melody.
melodies. Yeah,
And people really forget that. Too.
Yeah.
Like some people, like even when they listen to Thy Art Is Murder or Black Tongue or Infant Annihilator, whoever it is that you're dibble-dabbling in, like if you really just take apart everything that's going on, the core of it is that. Like,
the
melody,
vocals,
what's going on,
Yeah.
the words and the melody and how it all connects
Yeah.
together.
Like what
Well-
we found when writing, like if you can play and perform the song just acoustically, just with block chords, then you know you've got something special there.
If you like it.
If you can, if you can strip it down, if you can strip it down to its like absolute core, and it still sounds great, that's when you know that you've got something.
Yeah. That's a big part of what like pretty much John kind of showed us to learn and get into as well. That's
Oh,
how,
yeah.
That's how we write now.
It took me a long time to just play block chords because I like spicing things up on the piano.
It's Beethoven on the keys. Like, he will play. Steven's got every melody he's ever going to use in any song right here, and he will use every freaking thing. every time.
I like I like to spice things up, and it's
good.
like
It's a nice
block
spice.
chords, and I'll be like, okay, and it's like block chords like with rhythm, block chords, and I'm like, oh, okay, so block chords with a little tingle, block chords, and then it took like a week for me just to like, oh, okay, this is why we just do. I'm like, oh, okay, and like my hands like shaking, like wanting to do more.
I actually remember that because you're on coffee as well, and
Yeah,
you're like,
it's like-
restricting yourself. You're like,
Time like flies by like so much quicker when you're like really caffeinated. You're
Yeah.
like your head's buzzing, like
Yeah.
you're in that freaking studio and you're so
Yeah.
pumped, and it's like, all right, 1, hold, 2, 3, but just like holding this chord. You're like,
yeah.
I want to do so much more.
It's so crazy.
but just that's kind of like just shows the evolution from like I think there's a million guitarists out there who are insane guitarists, but how many of them can write really good songs?
Exactly.
So that just kind of shows your evolution from going from just
Yeah.
a keyboardist and bass player to a songwriter. I
Yeah,
think
exactly. Like being critical on the process is such an important, and taking input has been huge for us.
I think people don't give that enough credit to the songwriter. Like everyone can hear someone shredding and be impressed.
Yeah,
but
of course.
a lot of people won't actually analyze a song and, you know, listen to the quality of songwriting from certain or a lot of artists. That is one of the, possibly the hardest thing to do.
Oh,
Is
definitely.
write a good song. You
It
know,
definitely is, yeah.
it's not just pumping out a couple riffs, slapping it together. Like you
definitely
boys
not.
said, so much goes into it, and
Yeah.
the general public aren't going to really realise that.
Yeah.
too,
And even
so.
with music nowadays, they were like
Muick?
new pop
You
songs.
mean
Remember
Muick?
That thing that you mentioned, Muick. That Justin Bieber song you mentioned with that interview with Skrillex and stuff. And Diplo, how they mentioned using new sounds and having like, what was it, expensive sounds, like having this differentiation between like what's a normal sound and what's a different sound, what's going to get people intrigued and what's going to complement everything else in a different sort of way. And like, I don't know, music is taking a very interesting turn with how fluid it's all becoming.
I think like what you just said there about like new sounds actually sums up the start of that new song really well.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is really.
Yeah,
That's
it is. It's a bit of good old
Yeah.
voice alteration.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Pitch
Josh
shift.
going to the mic and take the crown, and then it becomes like a
Yeah.
Smaug sort of thing.
It's so weird though. Like sometimes, like because being there with John, and he'd be like, "Take the crown" and stuff like that. And this is one thing that like John really opened me up to as a vocalist, and that I've been obsessed with pretty much ever since. It's just how much thought you can put into like pronunciation and like assonance, and actually like even just the shape of where your tongue is in your mouth and certain things like can really reflect, especially when you alter it and stuff like that as well. Like he really has a interesting mind of how vocals should be put out there.
That's really
Like
interesting.
using physically your body and stuff as well, stretching and like using your diaphragm, making sure. Because like for me, when I come from a show, the biggest thing that's always sore is going to be my stomach. It should never be my throat
Yeah.
most of the time. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
interesting having that like different. Because I was very different before I came to LA and learnt those different things. With
using
John.
your throat to kind of push.
Yeah, but
So you kind of like learnt your
using
technique
whole
while you were
body,
there.
Your whole body and your mind.
Did you get vocal lessons over there, or did you just learn?
It
from
wasn't
John?
vocal lessons. No, it was more like,
Just-
do it.
Yeah,
It
picked
was
up
just
some
do it.
technique.
It wasn't
You're doing
like
this thing
he didn't
wrong.
tell me or like he was just do it. You do a take, do it. Do a take, good. Next one, no good, no. And that's the same with everyone. He wasn't. That was the good thing about it. It wasn't positive reinforcement. Didn't beat around with anything.
Yeah.
Stephen would record. hectic line, like it's taken about like a little while, like 10 minutes. He's been shredding, got it perfectly for the first time, perfectly in time. Next line.
Yeah, still. Or he still says great. It's like awesome, great.
Yeah,
And then
next.
move on.
Next.
Like you can beat around and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that was
You're
so
amazing,
sick.
you're so good, and all that
You know,
sort of stuff.
it makes us feel good about what we've done. Sick. Let's keep plugging away.
Yeah, you like feel good when the song's done
Yeah.
and good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that sort of like
Yeah, it was.
that sort of just like momentum like you got going forward. You're just like looking forward and like you're here. The end of the song is there. It's like let's do it. Like the task isn't done till the song's done, and it's like that fire, like that wood there till like 3 a.m. Like some mornings, just like like working hard and yeah.
And
It's
when-
like it's the best thing because like you're in it and it's like woo.
Yeah, and like when you're in it as well, it's like so intense.
Yeah.
Like the tunnel vision is actually like when you're at. It's so hard to kind of like explain, but like when you're all obsessed about the song and you're all in there about the song, like everyone's pacing around, everyone's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so obsessed about the song and how it's going to be put out there, and everyone's throwing out ideas. Like we walk around saying lyrics. Is this okay? Nope. Okay. Is this okay? Nope. Like Stephen plays that. Is this okay? Nope. Is this okay? Nope. Like everyone's so in it, and it's just, and you even forget to like eat or drink water or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like
we
it's
forgot
just
to eat a lot.
you just
Yeah.
hours. You just get swallowed by it, and that's it. It was so refreshing, like so good. to
Well, that's
really
when
have
you
that.
love something. Hey,
Oh,
every
so-
moment you don't.
it comes
your
beautiful,
time
you know?
does fly, and you
Yeah.
just don't give a shit what else is going on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're having
Crazy.
such a good. That's music.
Crazy.
Hey,
It
it does
is.
that.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a time machine.
It is like we lost track of time so much. Like we get there like 10 a.m. before we know it's already 6, and like I haven't eaten the thing. I've like maybe had like one glass of water, barely even left the room, and I'm like, how is it? Or like, how has the sun gone down already? Like this
I
is
remember
crazy.
you saying that so much. Like I'm eating now. Like what about my gains? Like,
Yeah. I'm like, this does not fit my protein schedule.
Biggest concern in the studio.
Yeah.
Gains.
it's important.
You got to
It
get
is
on the
important.
push-ups.
You
You
do.
got to stay on it.
You
like,
were smashing it out.
you got to do a few push-ups when you're in the studio, just like every now and then, especially when you're there late.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if I'm doing like long tracking hours, it'd be like, I had my coffee, my water, and then my Red Bull on the side. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm ready for the day.
Sure, John's cupboard of Red Bull.
Yeah,
the
this is-
savior.
The savior cupboard for when the times are dire.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you guys end up with Rob as your manager?
At the hen house.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
hen
just
house.
from the hen house. Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of liked what he heard.
The
I guess.
classic, the classic story that
So
Rob likes to
typical.
tell.
He loves it. He does it the best way though, as well.
Rob tells his story. So this is what he tells the people.
Yum.
Like, so he likes to recount not just like the fact that he met us in the hen house, but the fact that because we were trying to impress Rob.
We were
Like this is
desperate to,
Rob
and
Nasser
we
from
were so
Gyroscope.
new. We love
Like
Gyroscope.
we're like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
who
so
doesn't?
Rob from Gyroscope's here. And so like we were playing one of our songs from like our first EP. It hadn't even been released yet. And like I'm on guitar, so this is how early it is.
So
I was on
long
guitar.
ago. I was on guitar too.
Josh. Oh my gosh, Josh was on guitar
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like you know,
Not doing vocals or guitar?
doing
as well?
vocals as
Guitar
well.
well.
but like I'm not a good guitar player. Like that's insulting to even call myself a guitar. I wouldn't call myself a guitarist. I'm a guitar player, but I'm not even that. I'm a bad guitar player. But then like we're trying to impress Rob, and then like I would do like this punk jump, like a terrible punk jump.
actually gonna
But
bring
we're
it
like
up if you didn't.
got to show him that we can get into our music. Like got to show him, got to prove it. And so I tried to do this punk jump, and it was like out of time. I didn't even land on the beat. Like I landed a little bit early, so I felt a bit awkward. And I tried to like do a swing, almost tripped over. It was-
Like the leg spread was like really like minor.
oh yeah, terrible leg spread.
A lot better.
It's all about the leg spread. Hey?
Oh,
Especially for pop punk.
Yeah, fucking.
so that was Rob's first encounter with us, which is quite the memorable one. And then
Maybe just because it was so
smiling the whole
goofy.
time
Yeah.
after.
Maybe it was the goofiness that left
was
a
just
good
like-
impression.
yeah, maybe.
Nah, maybe he just, if you had have done that leg spread, he's like, nah, fucking hate
Yeah,
leg
no,
spread,
yeah.
I'm out.
Maybe he
Done.
secretly loved it. Maybe he was like, "Damn, that was a good punk jump."
I mean,
Yeah.
we all did
That's the
just like
best.
literally just like try and give it our all. Like we
Yeah.
didn't know what we were doing. Like,
Yeah,
we were just
yeah.
like,
No idea.
let's just try as hard as we can. And even afterwards, he was just like silent for like a couple minutes, just like, well, not even a minute,
Cool.
just like 10 seconds. He was like smiling, it's like,
It felt like a minute.
felt like,
It felt like
years.
ages
Yeah, it's
because-
crazy.
Good. I love the face you did there. You're like, good.
I
Sam's.
was like,
I'm out.
Josh has nailed the Rob face.
I think we all have though. We've
yeah.
been around him so much, like, but we love him. He's our band dad.
But then, yeah, Rob actually mentored us for ages. This
Long
is like
time.
a long time, like over a year. Then all the way up till when Feldy first contacted us, and I think it was like a bit after that when we asked Rob if he wanted to be our manager.
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And we're like, awesome. Like, this is the best thing ever. So
I remember like Rob saying, I think he was talking about you boys, saying you had a really strong Instagram following. Like you really built a big base from Instagram.
We
Yeah.
gave ourselves a big routine.
Yeah.
When it came to
Yeah.
social media and being just constantly finding new ways, whether it's messaging fans or going out handing flyers, going out and just doing everything that you can to kind of.
Yeah.
But it reflected. It did help.
Instagram's a good platform too, I find, because the content's not limited.
Yeah.
People can easily see what you're doing. They don't have to read through bullshit. It's
Yeah.
just, photo, and then...
Yeah. And at the
Yeah.
same time, there's a lot that goes on Instagram. It's like holding that attention at the
Yeah.
same time, you know, because you can always you can have like 100,000 followers, but do you have people who are really passionate about what you're trying to put out there? People who are going to come to your shows, people who are going to
Well, that's,
really like believe in what you're doing and really like connect with you. You know, that's the biggest thing we're all about, like building relationships with people.
Well, that's the thing, like you said. That's a good point. Like, I mean, a girl can just post a photo of her ass and put a few hashtags
exactly.
on
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like
Please do.
a million likes.
Please
It's like-
continue to
it's
do
like,
that.
Well, okay.
It's because every guy's just like, "Oh,
And
that's
I'll
a
do
nice
it and
ass."
get
like.
So Josh, when are you gonna invest in that?
Oh man, I
Put
got
your ass
hairy
pics
legs.
up.
Yeah,
I got real hairy legs. Like you'd think I'm like a nice like feminine body. No, stay away.
Oh, well, that's been a spoiler for anyone else out there that's
Everyone's
asking.
waiting for
Sorry,
those ass
world.
pics, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, they're out there. They're probably out there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just got to find it, huh?
Yeah. If you search hard enough, you can find anything.
That's every Wednesday, mate.
Yeah.
And you know, what, if you can't find it, just go and get something and Photoshop it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
it, man.
It's all the
That's it.
same, isn't it? It's probably Photoshop. Like, yeah, that's probably me.
Just
just like this
Photoshop your head
Photoshop-
onto some girl.
I'm on, like the pyramid.
embedded-
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's him.
It's a new image.
Alrighty, so I reckon we are going to take a quick break, go to the bathroom, and
Yeah, I
we'll
need
come
to
back with
piss
some
hard,
Hell yeah.
come back with some beer reviews, and we'll do some current events.
That's good.
Alrighty, we're back. Emptied our beer out.
We're going to talk about that beer.
Oh
first.
yeah,
What do you
actually.
boys think? What do you
I'm
reckon?
quite impressed. Usually I cannot drink pale ale to save my life,
Yeah,
but this is actually like hella good.
I like Fat Yak Pale. I like certain pale ales and stuff. But this one's really good. It's not overly strong and stuff like that. It's got a decent content as well, so it's not
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
any weak crap. You know, it's really good.
The
Really
first time I had Fat Yak, I could only like drink 1.5 of them because I was like when I was like just started drinking beer and I could barely drink like one beer and I was like, oh, it's too much.
First time I had pale ale, I was weird about it.
Oh,
as well.
I was like one Fat Yak and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no further for me, thanks.
Was it the hops in it? Is that what it is?
Uh,
Like that
just different.
fruity.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you
think
don't
something
like-
about the fruity thing
Yeah.
which I don't think I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
do you know what the difference is between an American pale ale and a normal pale ale, Josh?
Mm-mm.
No, you're supposed to be.
I think
beer
the
guy.
American Pale Ale is a bit more hoppy, eh?
Oh, because that was really not hoppy that at all. Yeah.
Well, it was slightly hoppy, but it's kind of a little bit malty as well. That was a nice beer, though. I've had
Yeah.
a few of those epic ones,
Really good.
and it was epic.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
a,
pretty
uh,
good.
The name
It was pretty
says it.
good. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't bad. The bottle was good too. It was nice.
Yeah, that was a good mixture between like flavor and drinkability. You could drink that all day, I think, and it
Had a
wouldn't,
bit of caramel in there
wouldn't
too.
get too nasty.
Caramelly.
Really?
I'm still going on it, so
Yeah,
I'm
me
tasting
too.
as we're talking.
Yeah, and it's like hitting him as he's
Yeah,
tasting.
I'm like, yeah, there is caramel.
Well, we never really get the opportunity.
yeah, you know what? Yeah.
We never really get the opportunity to try like new beer or anything or any alcohol at all, really, because like we're either working all the time, broke all the time, and working more all
so
the
he's
time.
drinking.
Yeah, oh, no, I don't want
Cheap fun.
I've had too many bad experiences. I've turned that path
I'm a
I
uni
think
student.
for now.
If you haven't had a bad experience on Goon, you're lying.
yeah, you're lying.
It's true, hey. It really
Or you
is.
never had a childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm a uni student, so Goon has a special place in my heart.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
along
single
with
bin
2-minute
subs-
noodles.
Oh my god, that's why I'm so fat. I wanted to get into. We were talking about this off camera about old mate from All That Remains coming out with the old pro gun movement right after a shooting. It's kind of his move. He does it all the fucking time. This would probably be the 5th time he's come out
He
with
likes
pro gun
attention.
shit after a shooting. But you guys were saying you had an interesting experience when you were there. You didn't see any guns. It was
No, not at all.
Not really. We were in a studio most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were pretty locked up. But then
John Feldman didn't
Yeah.
pull any guns on you.
Oh,
And
sad-
do that again,
sadly.
bitch.
Yeah,
only willies.
yeah.
He pulled his willy.
That's what we do. We have fun in the studio. Like
Yeah.
we all did it. Like it's just have you relaxed around each other and you just have fun. You know. Like,
Yeah, there's got to be some bands.
yeah,
It's got to be the bands.
Yeah.
got to, man.
But like, yeah, we didn't have that many gun experiences. I guess if you like us,
Luckily.
like, because we have no idea where to go for guns.
Yeah,
So, like,
exactly.
that's like the last thing on our mind. Like when we're in Perth, like we're not thinking about guns or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's like, oh well, that's an America thing. And then you get there, it's like, well, you're not even really thinking about it. But then there, like, I guess if they know what they're doing, then you can go off to all
Yeah.
the gun things.
yeah.
Well, like
it's
even Travis Barker's photographer Daniel Fogg, he mentioned that he'd been robbed at gunpoint.
Oh yeah, he'd been
3
mugged
times
like
at,
on Hollywood
on
Boulevard. Yeah, like
Boulevard
5
at the
times.
same times.
wow.
And like we didn't really come across any like
Hollywood
any
Boulevard.
aggressive. We stayed on Hollywood Boulevard in
That's
a
fucking
hotel,
hectic
and
to
at
get
night-
robbed there.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
There are
no.
some dodgy characters.
Oh, yeah.
hanging
Oh
around
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Like, we
Like,
saw some interesting things and heard some interesting things at night. Canoga Park. That was a whole other level of
I'm
like.
pretty sure there was like a crack house. Like,
Yeah,
a
it
few,
was.
like,
And they had like
houses
walkie
down.
talkies and talk about cops and like
Some
hide the
guy
shit.
tried to sell
Really?
me meth there last year
Oh,
on
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Crazy.
Like
man.
there was a chick pissing on the footpath
Yeah.
on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh,
We're like,
lovely.
wow, like
Broad
that's,
daylight.
like that's really scarred us from this dream. Like, oh, the Hollywood Boulevard. We're like, before we're going there, like, this is gonna be insane. This is gonna be awesome. And it's just like this chick like pissing on the
Yeah,
footpath. We're like, oh, wow, like that's yes, great.
It's like Midland Traino, but everywhere.
yeah.
Actually, I'm surprised that the crackies had walkie-talkies and coordinating.
Yeah, it was hell
like
weird.
that.
Maybe I
That's,
dreamt it. I don't know, but I remember waking up at one point. I don't know if Sean remember, like he heard it as well, but like just like this, there's people going like hide that shit and like all this sort of just like weird stuff. And,
That was after 3 days of like no
Yeah.
sleep, coffee, and
Yeah, it
recording.
probably was
you
that.
like tweaking
probably
out.
just freaking out.
Shit,
honestly.
get me another fucking coffee.
But even like but even like walking back like to our place, you'd smell weed. You just smell it. It's just like
was quite
it's just
pungent.
crazy.
Well,
like,
it's basically legal there.
is,
It
it's
was
very
when
different.
I was there in June, and it was legal for medical purposes.
Yeah.
But you could just go down to Venice Beach, and some cunt would write you up. You know the green doctors? Did you see that?
yeah, it's
And they'll just
we were
give you
walking
for-
past places like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's a whole different
This-
like pharmacy.
This guy was
blows my mind.
trying to give us some weed just outside through a car window at the traffic light. So we're walking across the street,
quick
and
sale.
he's like, "Hey boys, how you doing? I haven't seen you since this morning."
Guys, want some weed?
And I was like, here, man. And like the
They're not
people
even to
behind
pay
him are
for
like,
it.
hurry up, like the light's green, and he's like, got his little thing. We're like, no, mate, no, we're going to work, man. We've got work. He's like, yes, so am I. And I'm like, oh no, it's chill, bro. It's chill. It's fine. Like, no, I was like, all right, I'll catch you guys later. I'm like, yes.
We're like, sorry, man, we gotta work. Like, we don't do that shit, you know, when we're working.
Oh, so funny.
It's hilarious.
We're like, as if this is actually happening. Like, we're just strolling along.
was Michael and Sean? They were walking.
I think they were just further ahead, and we're like, dude, we just saw this guy from this morning. He was in his car and he tried to give us weed at the traffic
it
light. Like,
happened within like 3 minutes. as
it was
well.
just so quick. It's like,
literally
oh,
at the
hey,
lights. Like,
have some. Like, well,
so funny. He had like a handicap thing on his like thing as well. Like,
oh yeah,
like,
in front of his car.
oh,
handicap because he's so
driving,
fucking
you see
blazed
like that.
all day long.
yeah. Who knows? All sorts of interesting stuff in
You
LA.
do see some fucking crazy things. in
Oh,
that
you really
city,
do,
hey,
man. The culture's crazy over there. It's good though. It's like so very individual. A
different.
lot of different
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun place. There's a lot to do. You'll never be bored. If you're bored
yeah.
in that city, you're a boring person.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure. There's so much to do.
Like I think we were pretty pumped about the food. Hey, like, what
Yeah,
was
the
that
food's
place?
good.
That we
Oh,
went to
Greenleaf.
today?
I got an acai bowl. It was the best.
Yeah, that's right. Greenleaf. That was the place, man. And then there was Farmer Boys, and then there was that place we went to with BMG. That because we're like you've never had like fancy food. Like this was like, probably the first time we've ever had anything super
yes.
fancy.
Oh yeah, like super fancy.
like lobster, like crazy, like really,
It was-
really like these entrees that are like
oh,
it's super small, but like these crazy food and crazy things, and like how opens your mind up to like the possibilities of stuff out there.
There's
like,
so many cultures in it. You know, you got Spanish influence. You got, well,
yeah, you got Mexican, Asian, like American Westernized. You got a bit of British culture in there. It's
and
like,
then you got the southern, the like Man, I had the
Oh.
best brisket ever in LA, hey?
Yeah.
Which is funny. I reckon it was almost better than Texas. And if you're Texan, you'll probably try and kill me.
Yeah.
for saying that. But man, there was the first time I had smoked brisket, I was like, what is this?
Hello there.
Remember,
Just that
like,
southern fried chicken too. Dude,
Oh.
yeah, like
so good.
we went to a fried chicken and waffle place.
Oh, the chicken and
You
waffles.
got
Oh.
the chicken and waffles. I remember I got something with grits, and I know it would like we were like, what's grits? Like, what the hell is grits? Like, no
Is it
idea
like
what it is.
oats or something?
It's like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
pudding. It's like this oat porridge pudding thing. It's actually really nice.
That's a southern
really
thing
nice.
too.
That's
hey,
fucking weird
grits.
though. Chicken with
Yeah, Texas thing.
oatmeal.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
so
like
good.
they
That's
had
why
like
waffles.
waffles and meant oh,
That's
dude.
so weird.
Yeah.
Even
Maple
chicken and
syrup.
waffles.
Yeah,
Even chicken and waffles
regretfully-
sounds fucking weird if you've never had it.
I still haven't had it. I've never had. I was gonna
It's
so
get,
good.
Sort
man.
your
Yeah?
fucking life.
I
out.
regret.
I was gonna get it from Mary Street Bakery, and someone was like, "It's dog shit." So I
You've
was
been
like,
to America twice too.
No, I've been there.
You gotta,
way
probably
more
got to
than
do it in
that.
America.
Oh,
Hey,
We'll fucking fix your life, mate.
I never saw a place that had fucking chicken waffles, or
This,
maybe
um,
I just thought I'd like my arteries being a little
Oh,
unclogged.
it's- man, you gotta do it once.
You got to do it.
Gotta
We went
do
to
it
this
once.
one that Snoop Dogg owns. So they were about to shut down, and Snoop Dogg loved that
Yeah,
place
He
dude.
does.
so he loved the place so much that he bought it.
Oh, that's
And
so
yeah,
awesome.
we were there, and it was so
It
so
was
good,
so
It was
good,
amazing.
man.
Did you guys ever see his show? And like, I swear, every time it was on, he'd just be hiding from his missus in his garage, just eating
that this
KFC.
TV thing? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I have
and
not
she'd be
seen
in there
it.
telling. No, I
He just
swear, every
gets
time I
baked
watch
the
him, he'd
whole
be
time
sitting on
and
like a
runs from his
shitty
wife.
chair in a shitty garage,
That's all
just
he
tucking
does.
in.
He gets high and runs from his wife. That's what he does. Like, the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Imagine being that fucking loaded that you just like, my favorite spot to go eat when I'm high is shutting down. I'm just going to buy it so it stays open.
Yes,
That's
Well, I
fucking
mean, like,
crazy.
it was good.
That is awesome.
I regretfully did not get chicken and waffles. These guys did, and then he gave me a taste of it, and it's just like
It's good.
hanking for it.
It
Like,
is
I love how they always have to add like sweets onto anything fried.
Yeah.
You know, like they do it in Canada.
it's
It's like maple syrup over your bacon with pancake. You know, have
Oh.
It's
bacon.
good, man.
Yeah.
It sounds
I
bad.
tell ya.
It is good. I will.
It is
I'm on
diabetes,
board.
though.
I'm on
hey?
It
board the
is
maple syrup
diabetes.
train.
Diabetes.
Oh, I am on
Diabetes,
board.
yeah.
Maple syrup tastes good with anything. You can put maple syrup on anything.
Oh, put it on my body.
To make it even worse, they sprinkle fucking icing sugar on top of it as well.
Oh,
Oh,
How's
so
how it just comes out of a fucking tree? They just tap a
shit.
tree and you just got the tastiest thing ever coming out of a
oh,
tree.
man.
It's hell expensive too.
Oh, that
Some
blew my
dudes in
mind.
Canada
That's funny.
stole like $7 million worth of
With
maple,
maple
syrup.
syrup.
Like a
Just
few
the
years
maple
ago.
syrup bandits. Those fucking Canadian
It is
dogs.
stealing my fucking maple syrup. Oh my god.
Just Canadian
It's
things.
Canada. Yeah, best of buddies.
That is definitely a Canadian
Yeah.
news headline though.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
man steals $7 million of
Yeah.
They'd be
maple
like,
syrup.
and has it, and his weed
We need
has.
to actually lock our doors now.
Yeah, yeah.
We need, honey, go lock the door. But Bevan, the door hasn't been locked for years.
It's
I like
okay.
it how everyone goes straight for South Park.
Yeah.
Like,
South Park
love it,
Canadian
man.
accent.
I love South Park. Like, it's so.
it is. It's the best though.
Your head just
Healthcare is
starts
free in
flapping.
Canada.
Yeah.
So the other one we've got here, we've got a couple actually. There's some
Yeah.
nerd shit here we'll talk about just because it's fucking cool.
Wait, hang on. Did we just go from guns to like fried chicken and waffles?
Yeah, somehow that's them segues.
I'm
that-
sorry,
that-
I just needed to mention that.
That's
though.
that's
That's a good
what
point,
this is
actually.
for. We need
But
to
that's
just
good,
go
though. That's
down
good.
rabbit holes.
Nah,
and
it's good.
Yeah.
Good. We addressed some
Somehow we went
interesting
guns to marijuana, which I don't understand the connection.
Yeah, 'cause
but then
yeah.
from marijuana to chicken and waffles, I can understand that connection.
Yeah,
then
yeah,
South-
That's probably
then
what it was.
Maple syrup getting robbed in Canada,
Yeah.
and then South Park.
Some V for
I love- I
Vendetta
love the
stuff, but it's
segues.
like V for maple syrup instead of V for Vendetta.
That's it.
M for Maple.
Alright, so in other music news, we have the Ghost Inside. So
Oh
you
yes,
guys would have heard about what happened to the Ghost Inside.
vocalist.
Yeah, the whole band
Yeah.
had that bus
Yes.
accident.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember what injuries he suffered, but he
Yeah,
can't
not
walk
too
on his own
involved.
anymore.
I think he's had some bone infections, and I know the drummer lost his leg. And
Yeah.
a few of them. They're all had. It's been like 2 years, and they're
Yeah.
distraught. They can't get back and
Horrible,
play.
man.
Even the drummer's playing again, but I think the whole band's just struggling.
Yeah,
Man.
we talked about this already, but the drummer released an EP 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name of it now. Go back, listen to another episode to find it.
No, you're
or
right.
just Google Ghost Inside
Yeah,
Drummer
no,
and come. It's like it's hell genty. There's no there's no vocals or anything. But it's just so fucking cool to see him back playing drums to full capacity
I was so
again.
devastated when I heard about what happened. I was honestly thought like it was a real big breaking point for like them as a band. Like that sort of thing rocks everyone.
Well, that was his what he was saying in this article. He's just saying.
Yeah, he talks about. So I'll read what he's written here because he was at a
Might have been
show.
the same art.
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, he was at a show and he basically just said, to be completely honest, going to shows is really hard for me because he feels jealous and he feels like they worked so hard to get to where they were and it was taken from them. And why does that band that I'm watching get to do it and we don't? And he's like, just saying, I know that sounds childish and selfish, but that's how I feel and I can't help it. And it's just heartbreaking to read, like how hard it is to get anywhere in music. Like you guys know, you're working your fucking ass off.
Yeah.
But it's not always down to work. It's about you can work your ass off for your whole life and get nowhere. So they obviously had that, whatever that factor is, that got them touring the world and then just have it taken away by...
It's
Like we said before, they made it quite late. They were all in their like mid-30s, early to mid-30s. And they worked their ass off for years, and they finally make it and have that luck, eh? You want to see him get back, though. I think they will.
definitely, man. And it's like, it's all about your perspective of what you're going to be taken with a situation, and how you can always put that into music, because music is always going to be relevant to so many different ways, whether it's music or you're even talking about it through a podcast or you're just yourself on a video giving yourself your opinion. I think obviously it's very unfortunate and very devastating and like for something like that to happen, but I just hope that they still find a niche for like where they can still put their, because I mean it's not like they're not intelligent guys who understand music, who knows what's going on in the world. It's just very unfortunate what's happened to them. I hope that they find some form of parameter where they can still keep themselves going.
Well, it seems like the drummer's not having any trouble with that. I don't. Seems like this vocalist guy's having a bit more trouble mentally getting back on track. The drummer, like even like days after the crash, he was like posting shit on Instagram. Lost my leg, lol.
Yeah,
dude.
It's just
most upbeat guy.
Yeah,
ever,
and then he posted a video of like having a cut off broomstick attached to his leg so they could play drums again.
And
like
that's all about perspective. Hey?
Yeah,
that's all about just being like I mean, that's a huge thing to take.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah,
and that you really admire that sense of strongness within yourself to really like put yourself out there like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, and that's a big thing. Perspective. You can slide into like easily. I think I would just be ruined. I would slide into some depression to see a dude. It's just like my legs gone. I'm going to make the best of it straight off the bat. He didn't even seem to go. Well, he probably did have his down days, but he just obviously kept pushing on, and it's good to see.
He just made that decision in his mind. I'm not going to let this fucking take away what I love. I think, and it's like, if you can't do that, most people can't do that. Like, that's an exceptional human who can just make that decision and
definitely trick your brain. Into being like, that's a big thing that John kind of opened us up to as well. Like, really, because he says, I love my life, like, every day. Like, and he does love his life. He loves his life. But he started that from a point where it was not the best place for him, And, like, him convincing himself, giving himself that mindset, surrounding himself with positivity and certainty. It's like, that's the best perspective you can always have, no matter what life is always going to throw at you. You can always take anything in a good way. You can always change your reaction to something else that happens. You can't change anyone else's reaction to it.
Yeah.
That goes for a lot of things, eh? Like, things can happen, whether it's what something says or something might happen. It doesn't have to ruin your life. It's how you react to things is exactly what you said. It's a mindset, and it's how you take shit on board. Yeah.
But obviously, I haven't lost my leg.
That's
a whole other ballpark.
That's some next level.
I really hope they come out of it.
Is Goldfinger still a band?
Yeah, they're still going, man.
They released an album like late last year.
Was it good? I liked to hear it.
Yeah.
It's actually good, man. Listen to
Like-
Tijuana Sunrise. Good song.
Really?
I liked it.
I used to love
Real
Goldfinger,
Big Fish,
man.
Real Big
If you
Fish.
want to go to Hawaii, you
Really?
gotta pump,
Yeah,
pump
they
that song.
play the brass.
Yeah.
They play the ensemble stuff.
I used to love Real Big. I was
Fish.
at Warp Tour one time, and I was standing there, and that dude was standing next to me, and I was like, "Oh, it's the Real Big Fish dude."
Yeah.
Dude, it's cool, man. It's cool. And John still goes hard, even though his doctor tells him his knees.
Crowd surfing like 25,000 people.
Really?
Jumps up and like he's he goes hard, man. He goes hard. He inspires me.
I want
All
to
of
do that
us.
when I'm 50.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be crowd surfing on like massive, like 20,000.
Yeah, I want to be doing that
crowds.
when I'm 20, when I'm 21. You know, I want to be doing that now.
Let's do it tomorrow. Why not? Let's make a day of it.
Yeah,
Let's do it tomorrow.
Make a date of it. Why not?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I used to love Goldfinger.
Yeah, man. 99 Red Balloons tune.
Yeah.
Even though it's a cover. Still
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, they had a few tunes, they
They
did.
did, man.
So we'll do one more quickly. I've got a couple here, but I'll pick one.
Go for it.
You guys would have seen. You guys know who Elon Musk is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would have seen him launching his fucking car into space.
I did.
Like a gangster.
I did see that.
It was all a ploy. The reason the car went into space was they actually launched a really
All
small.
model car.
No,
No, I'm joking.
Matchbox
it's
car.
like one of those Russian cars.
It's like a health
The
statement.
small car comes out.
A babushka car.
Yeah.
No, he actually launched I think it's a quartzite. A quartzite disk inside the car. It stores 360 terabytes, and the purpose of it is it contains pretty much everything humans know about everything, from mathematical equations to how music works to I think there's even a sci-fi novel on there by Isaac Asimov. So
So it's for aliens.
I heard about the
Yeah.
car, but I didn't hear about the details.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mental.
It was on the news the other night. It's like this little. It looks like a tiny little CD, and it's like that big, and then it just contains like everything.
340 terabytes. So my next fucking question is, if a fingernail-sized rock can hold that much, why does it cost me $100 for a fucking
Hard
hard
drive
drive
for
this
one
big
terabyte.
that holds
Yeah.
1 terabyte?
I know.
It's because Elon Musk hasn't put them out yet. Everyone else are cunts.
What are you doing, Elon? Come on,
Yeah.
mate. Get it out
Man,
there.
like I admire that guy for like his vision of like the future and vision of having such a just a cleaner way of like being.
Yeah.
It's like even with LA, like we were a victim of the transport and the public transport in LA. Like
Victim.
10 minutes
Oh,
anywhere
yeah.
takes an hour and a half out of
Oh,
10 minutes,
no.
and the public transport system's so bad, so everyone's Ubering, everything's so clogged. But like he's looking into building like this underground sort of system
the
where
boring
like,
company.
he has
It's-
cars
it's
and
such
it's
a
all
funny name.
so cool, like it's so smart and stuff like that. But like obviously it's got to be put into the works. But like I just admire that forward thinking, because
Yeah.
originally with like Tesla, he was shut down for ages, rejected by a lot of people.
Everybody shit.
Everyone shat on him until he
Yeah.
finally got the first
Yep.
real rocket going and stuff like that. It's a very very inspiring guy.
Yeah, he is. We've talked about it before. We're like, he's Jesus and he exists. So well, that's a
Modern
that's a-
day Jesus.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I wonder. I hope no like scandal gets released of like Elon Musk. I hope he's as genuine as he seems.
I won't believe it
No,
anyway.
he
I'll be
seems-
like, nah.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's an
No.
angel. Hey,
Yeah,
He seems like
cuddle
that.
that guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a legend. He's just the champion of humanity.
I think the purpose of this disc is that it'll last 14 billion years, which is about when the sun is going to kill everybody in the solar system anyway.
Oh,
So the point is that
It lives on.
if we die off and somebody discovers our solar system, in the same way that other people,
Is it going to stay in our solar system?
yeah, it's orbiting the sun. So what's going to happen is, you know how we look out and you would see it in the news every now and then. NASA's found some new planet that's like
Yeah, of
Earth.
course.
So I'm sure there's civilizations out there that find solar systems, and they're
Probably
like,
unlimited possibility.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it has
So
to be, yeah.
the idea is someone's going to find, and they're like, oh, there's an Earth, or whatever they call Earth, like planet over here, and they come and check us out, and they're like, what's this fucking red car doing flying around?
Yeah.
And they pick it up and they find this disc, long after we've already killed ourselves or whatever
Yeah.
we do.
And then Elon Musk will become a god and people will
Yeah.
worship
Yeah.
him.
Like,
eh?
Yeah.
The-
technology like
Musk.
recreates
The
Elon Musk.
Musk.
It reminds me of like
the
a
Musk is actually
the
awesome.
Musk.
The birth of the Musk religion.
Musk, yeah.
The Musk.
I think that's a bit of a future.
That's something.
This
Yeah,
idea for it.
That's something.
that's
man.
created a
There'll be
wave.
some people in the future just kneeling in front of a
Like some
statue
Rick
of a
and
red
Morty.
car.
Yeah.
Get your Musk today.
Yeah. Get your Musk. Meet your Musk.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I just thought that was really cool.
No,
Just
it's
kind of
amazing.
reminded me like the Voyager thing. Do you guys know about the
Yeah.
Voyager thing? Yeah, they
the
sent
rocket.
it's the only man-made object to ever leave our solar system, actually. Voyager 1, and it's got a big gold because gold resists corrosion and lasts a really long time. It's got some Mozart and some equations and the sound of like a bird, and yeah, just if anyone ever finds it, they're like, oh, what is this? And they can sort of figure out
Retrace
where we
it.
came from. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
our location in the galaxy and stuff on it, which is scary because if they send this out and it gets to the wrong kind of aliens, here's a map to where we fucking live.
There we go. Then we call Will Smith.
You know,
Get the Men in Black
yeah,
to
that's
come
true.
down
We've
and,
got him,
just like
luckily.
Independence Day, like just, Will Smith, come on, mate, it's your turn.
You know what, though? I would rather aliens come and kill us all. So at least at that moment of death, I would know that. I would know. I'd be like, I'm sweet now. I've seen aliens. It's all good.
Yeah.
Speaking
I'd
of
be like,
aliens,
I kind of wanted to see the pyramids. I kind of wanted to, see something. Before I die. But then aliens, you're just like, that's the epitome of everything.
Yeah, seen aliens. They're gonna kill me, but I've seen them.
Yeah.
You'd think that they'd be such a forward civilization that they'd be beyond killing. Killing would be something that's irrelevant to them.
Well, it's like
More research, you never, I don't know. I'd be interested.
if they were traveling the galaxy, they're obviously going to be scientists. So,
Yeah.
scientists don't go around stepping on ant hills and killing animals. They're
Depends on the research, but yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Scientists kill fuck knows how many mice and rats every day in the
Yeah.
name of medical
And there's
research.
chemical weapons.
That's
Yeah,
reassuring.
yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we'll be the rats to
Yeah.
some fucked up aliens.
Yeah, maybe those guys getting probed or
Yeah.
allegedly getting
That's- I'm
probed.
just gonna go-
Maybe it is
Yeah.
happening.
It's all happening in Chernobyl, so we'll just go there. Find out.
People
The radiation's a
getting
myth, Radiation's a myth. Chernobyl's legit.
It's an alien probing ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going
Anal
to stick to
probes.
music,
Yeah,
Let's
let's-
just focus. That's what we're like, though. We have all these crazy thoughts and all these things, and we're like, okay, it's back to rehearsing. It's back.
Let's just stick to 4 chords for now.
Everyone will just go silent for a second, deep in conversation.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Thinking time.
Like Sean will be like, I had this dream last night. I saw myself in the mirror, and I turned into an alien. Something like that, and it'll become this whole, real crazy thing, and we'll be like, okay, back to rehearsing.
Okay, so how,
Bro, it needs more
how-
dragons.
how do we turn that into a song?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you never know. Everything, if you stare at anything hard enough, you can get an ulterior meaning or message out of it. That can either be the
It's
blessing
true.
or a curse.
Yeah.
It's
Didn't
true.
you have another one? There was another funny one, ridiculous one.
No, that was it. The only other thing going on is this Black Panther shit at the moment.
Black Panther.
Everyone's
Good movie.
well, yeah, the movie Black Panther. So I haven't seen either. You obviously have.
I'm a Marvel fan. I've seen every Marvel movie.
He is.
50
He
times.
really is.
Oh,
He
okay.
really is.
What
I
did you
can't
think?
get into it.
My problem was that they had the trailer for the second last movie, the first part of the last movie 'cause it's in 2 parts, but they had the sequel, the trailer for the last Avengers movie on beforehand, so I was way too pumped for that. So anything so now I'm just super jacked for the last Avengers movie starting off because I hadn't seen the full trailer before. I was like, oh my god, I'm jacked now.
He was pumped. He was talking about at rehearsals.
I was
too,
so pumped.
I can
and then
vouch for this.
Black Panther was obviously it's never going to be as good as Avengers, but then but it was still great. It was a great movie. Yeah, I think I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't thinking about the last Avengers movie the entire time.
Of course you were. Or X-Men. I was just thinking about something like
Oh.
I love that.
Logan, the last X-Men installment, Logan was really
I still
really
haven't
good.
seen that.
It
I
was-
love
that's
Logan.
good.
I
It's
thought
fucking
that
I've gotta
that
watch
was
that.
a great movie.
I don't
was
really
very
get
stoked.
into. I don't really get into superhero shit either. But
Superhero what?
superhero things.
Oh yeah. They
I think I
He's
just
like,
saw
"Can't believe
Steven's
you said
bicep.
shit."
yeah. In any other context,
Triggered.
yeah. X-Men is my favorite series ever out of anything. So we just got to watch Weez.
It's a touchy. It's a touchy subject.
I was gonna
It's all right.
compliment.
I'll,
it,
I'll
relax.
talk to him about it. I'll talk to him about it later. We'll suss it out.
Yeah.
No, I really like. I really like.
Don't
that.
worry
I'll
It's
I'll
really
pull
good.
through.
We'll get
Calm
through it.
down, calm down.
It's okay.
Yeah.
X-Men's good. It's okay.
I was
Breathe.
disappointed.
Give him a paper
with-
bag to breathe into.
Yeah. the Apocalypse one was not good.
Yeah, it was a bit open-ended.
I was
It wasn't
like-
really definitive about
There
where
was,
it's going.
where was the action?
Yeah.
I
Even if there was, it was just half Holly. Wasn't any fighting. It was just big open the zoom outs of big shit going on. It wasn't really
Yeah. I just want some good.
bit of
Some
how
good
you
shit.
going. Yeah, bit of how you
Good
going.
shit.
That one was a bit disappointing, but Logan was great.
Yeah, Logan was
and then the second last, I'm rambling here. The second last Wolverine movie,
Ramble
the
away.
one where he's in China, and they're not China.
The one
Well, I
before
could be
Logan.
really stereotyping my Asian countries here. He was somewhere in Asia, and it was after what's the big bomb?
The nuke. The nuke goes off.
Yeah, Hiroshima.
Yeah,
so like,
Hiroshima.
so the guy, he helped this guy survive that, and then he was like in like dead, and then he goes back to like help him, but is he really helping him or is he using him?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's going on? But there was like no action in that one either. I was like,
It was
oh,
more
come
like-
on.
More like about like, I don't know, like it was like that sick dude and like
Yeah.
Logan's power and then like,
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
not
you're
enough.
right.
Just not enough X-Men. I was like, there's only like 2 mutants in the whole thing.
Man,
Like, I want to see some cool powers, man.
get ready for it, guys. Steven's gonna have his own movie critique
Oh, I should
Blog.
totally do that.
blog. You really should.
I should
really
make my own
should.
vlog on X-Men critiques.
Or even if you had a blog, just where you could type,
Yeah,
to get your feelings out there, you know. Just
Logan was
get it
good
out
because
there.
it was brutal too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I've
should have
heard
done
that
that a
was
long
pretty
time
violent.
ago. So stop making things fucking PG, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, have you guys seen?
Yeah, because Logan's an animal, man. Like, you gotta
Yeah,
just
I
see
mean,
an
he has
animal.
fucking blades coming from his fist. He pushes through his skin. Come on.
That's what I liked about Logan.
Yeah.
It was so brutal. Eh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the series of Ash versus Evil Dead?
I have not.
Ash
Oh,
versus Evil.
so
I've
you-
seen
you
Evil
wa-
Dead.
You
but I
like
haven't
the
seen-
Evil Dead movies?
You've seen it.
I haven't seen it. Wait,
No,
I've seen one.
You have.
Yes,
we showed you.
Yes,
and you hated it
I did not like it.
because of the stabbing and like
Stabbing.
Stephen hates stabbing.
Oh, really?
I can't do
And there's a
stabbing.
lot of
What's the thing about
stabbing and
stabbing?
throat cutting in
There's a
Evil
lo-
Dead.
wait,
this-
wait,
this
wait,
shows
wait.
This was the
like
reworked
violent
one, by the way.
things.
There's
not
a
the old-
lot of stabbing in Logan.
That's different.
Yeah, hey, blades with blades
It's
stabbed through
different.
his
that
fist.
one, like
It's
with
different.
the glass in the
I
eye.
see a bit of
No,
cognitive-
I get like freaked out by it. Like I can't like look.
Yeah.
But like last night I watched The Ritual, which freaked me out. Like
I watched that. That was that Netflix.
No
Yeah,
spoilers.
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I
like
haven't
the
seen
end.
it.
The
Hey,
ending.
ruin it for him.
The ending's
Yeah.
like not
Please
the
don't.
best. I was a little bit. I was like, yeah. But then again, I was on my phone for a bit of it. But like if I get jumps, like
I agree with you.
I got like freaked out like 5 times. Like there's like right at the start with the knife and the cutting, like flipping out. But then I like that. Like if I don't flip out in a horror movie, then
Yeah.
why am I watching it?
Exactly,
Yeah, it's true.
man.
Like I want to get freaked.
Well, you got to watch Ash vs Evil Dead. It's the most violent thing I've ever seen,
good.
but it's ridiculous.
Especially
the
And
remake.
stuff happens. It's so outrageous, but it's fucking. It's on. I think the 3rd season starts this
Yeah.
Friday or something. So
Man, like I feel so numb to like horror movies.
I'm the
since
same,
it's
man.
12, like because like
yeah,
used to get really scared and stuff, and then it's just like you kind of get like kind of numb to it, used to it. Then you start watching like subtitled Japanese horror and trying to find or gothic horror, trying to find some weird stuff. It's just like it
Yeah.
always just like it's like eventually, and then you're like, but when you find like a movie that's just like genuinely scary, like really like not jump scary, not like because anyone can get scared from a
like
jump
when
scare.
you see
know,
that
like,
thing in The Conjuring, that witch. Or
I was
that-
going to bring
Oh,
that
yeah.
up.
Nun, and you
Yeah.
just
Oh,
The
there's like
Con-
little things
The Conjuring
like that.
too.
Man, like I shat when that happened. Hey, like,
Dude, the last time I was that scared by a horror movie, I think I was 12.
yeah, me too.
Like nothing
Me
has
too.
scared me
Dude,
like The
jump
Conjuring
scares
2.
got me. Hey, like I'm really numb to like horror movies most of the time, but like sometimes jump scares just like you're just
Yeah,
like,
it's just
Jesus
the
Christ.
volume too. Like if you watch it,
Yeah,
at the
and the
cinema, you're just like,
soundtrack.
"Ooh."
Soundtrack. It
Just
all,
the
like,
look
gets
of the
really
nun,
bassy,
too.
and it just gets really like high pitched and like scary.
Like I'm like Carol. I still shit my pants in horror movies because I get hella invested into the movies. Like
Yeah.
if it's like if it's a horror movie, it's like Will Smith and his remember you know he's
I Am Legend
Will
dramas.
Smith in a horror.
Well, like you know 7 pounds. I'm like so invested and I start crying at the end.
Yeah, it's a
or if
good
it's like a
movie.
horror, like I just get super invested in there. I'm like in there.
You gotta get
And so
in it.
that's why when someone dies, I'm like no.
Yeah.
And then it's like someone's getting stabbed. I'm like I can like feel it myself. I'm like no, but I was really invested in that guy. He can't die now.
You're always living vicariously through.
Yeah,
like,
and then
it's
Josh is just sitting there like, oh yeah, so the guy just died. I'm like, but it was that
but
guy.
I was like that. It's like a numbing thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like because like you see it before, but like you always kind of think like there's certain things that always trigger me. Like when I'm watching like certain movies, it's like clowns. I hate
Oh,
any
it-
horror movies
it was
with
freaking
clowns.
Really, I thought it was so.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. I haven't seen the new
Stranger
It.
Things.
No,
I haven't
it's
seen
with
the
a
new It.
clown.
Nah, it's weird, man, because the start is really scary, and there's points in it that are pretty terrifying, and then he does weird
No.
shit like dances in front of a carnival.
No, I'm
The,
sorry,
the dancing was the scariest.
No, that bit is so lame.
That was the scariest.
I love how everyone has a different.
the scariest.
That bit,
did you
that
see
bit
all the
completely
memes?
ruined it.
Did you see
Yes,
the
I've
memes?
seen, but
I haven't
not,
even
but not
seen the
beforehand.
movie.
I've
Yeah,
seen
the
the
memes is like, sorry. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, and you know, the bit where the arms come out of the sewer, and I was just like, that is the lamest looking thing ever. That looks
Oh.
B-grade horror. I
He's
was
got to
just-
keep authentic to the Stephen King.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I've only read that. I've only
In a
read the
still
book and the
image,
old
that
one,
bit
though. I haven't
looks
seen
shit,
the
but
new
in the
one. I do
movie
have
it
to see
doesn't.
it though. I might actually watch it.
No, I saw it in the movie. That was
Oh,
when I was watching
fuck
the
you.
movie. That bit was the clown pulled him into the
At the start,
sewer.
pulls the
I
kid
was
down.
just like, oh, okay, this is going to be shit then.
Wow.
And then that just had literally the Stranger Things cast, and I was like, so
One
you put
kid.
a clown
One
in
kid.
Stranger
One-
Things.
one
I'm gonna have
kid.
to watch
Well,
it.
Yeah, but
isn't that
the
your
rest-
I feel sorry for you.
The
I'm
rest
like,
of
that's your
knockoff,
reaction.
the rest were knockoff versions of the Stranger Kid. They're like, hey, we can't get the Stranger Kids. There's some other kids down the street. We can
Actually,
them in, like,
I do feel that. I
A
feel
little
that.
bit, yeah.
We could get one. Let's just like,
Yeah.
I'll see if there's
The
any
budget-
outside.
I'll fucking do. Are they free? Yeah, chuck them in.
Can they cry? Good. Yeah.
Can we pull one of them into a sewer? Don't care about his health and safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, that's
Oh,
true.
Right.
Alrighty, so is there anything you guys want to recommend musically? What have you guys been into lately?
Oh man.
Man,
I know
like,
it's hard. I know it's hard
rec-
when you're balls deep in writing your own shit to listen to music.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, I've been recently really digging like some of the new pop stuff that's coming out. Like, what's this song? Let You Down, NF or something, and Dua Lipa put out some really cool stuff recently. Like their production, the way the vocals work are just it's so very like finite and very definite. Like every word and every pronunciation has a specific reason. Really, really good. That one.
I wish my phone wouldn't do that. I apologize.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
But,
let You Down
but-
by NF. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really like good one recently. I've been really
I apologize. Apparently, when I search for stuff
Yeah.
on Spotify now, it just auto plays.
Well,
That's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
even
that
like
ruined my life.
even listen to a bunch of different stuff. Like I like really old stuff as well. I still have my live set of the Beatles in the car, and like it's just like nice comparing all sort of thing. What about you, Stevie?
I've been on the Don Brocco train.
You got me on that.
I don't know if
train,
you guys
actually.
know Don Brocco.
No.
They're UK. I think they're UK. No, not European. Yeah, they'll be UK. I'm not going to eat my words here.
Yeah.
Their new album is like super dope.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been my jam. It's been my
What
jam.
kind of music is that?
They're like a heavy rock, but like they have like more pop aspects in their
They got
new
a
stuff.
synthy aspect.
Like
I love some.
their
synth.
bass player is really great. The bass player is awesome. Our guitar tech Mitch got me into him, and then I've just been jamming him. Love their stuff. Really, really.
They released
cool.
an album recently.
Yeah. So the new album came out like not long ago. It's been all over Rock Sound.
Is
They-
there a song you would recommend off that
the
album?
T-shirt song is an absolute banger.
The T-shirt. song.
Absolute banger. That is like my gym tune. It's like obviously I don't listen to music in the gym. Like when my headphone jack on my phone doesn't work, so then like I can't listen with headphones, and everything gets in the way. So I just put up with whatever's going on. But going to and from the gym, just T-shirt song is out there. It's so good.
Just getting super pumped in the car park on your own.
Oh yeah. Just like
Lucky you did a T-shirt swing.
because that's what they do. Like it's like I'll take my T-shirt off, swing it around my head.
That song.
Tune and then you
I
see
think
that
I have heard that song for sure.
you see that music video. I think that was in Germany. They played like a show in front of like 10,000 people or something, like super sick. And then they've just got like everyone like swing the T-shirts. This is like awesome.
That's pretty cool.
They also did a quote unquote Australian tour.
Yeah,
East
quite
Coast
like what we were saying before, like
Yeah.
just like the
Yeah.
East Coast sort of thing.
Yeah.
They did that. I think that was with them and Storm the Sky.
The worst is when they do a Australian tour and they hit like the whole East Coast and then they sneak over to Adelaide too.
Yeah,
And you're like,
like,
hey,
come on,
if you're
bro.
gonna come that far, fucking come to Perth.
Don't even worry
you
about the north.
bastard.
The north is irrelevant. Fuck
Oh, yeah,
Northern
it goes to
Territory.
Darwin.
No one gives a shit about Northern
what about
Territory.
Darwin? We're like we're complaining here in Perth. Like you could be in Darwin or
They
Tasmania.
get nothing. I bet if you went
Yeah.
up there with just an
Actually-
acoustic guitar, people would be crying.
Actually,
with
Carnival
happiness.
played
Yeah.
there about 12 months ago in Darwin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
But
they get a few, I think, in Hearts
Oh, really?
Wake. We're just there.
Oh, wow.
Daryl Braithwaite. way. I think.
Well, there's like 350,000 people in Darwin, so it's probably actually worth going.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
It's
know what-
underrated.
Yeah.
You know what really annoyed me was when Warp Tour came the other year and it was in Coffs Harbour and didn't come in. I was
Really?
just like, what?
Because
Is that the
I never
only
even
date?
heard of
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, pretty sure it was Coffs Harbour. Yeah, it was like one of those. It's like a random town in. Is it Queensland or is it northern New South Wales?
I'm not sure. Is that the only date they played? Just Coffs Harbour?
No, I think that. I think so.
you
Or there might have been a
That's
couple.
pretty obnoxious, eh?
That's
Was there a
ridiculous. I haven't
couple?
even
No, I
heard
think
of
there
that
was a
place.
couple.
I
But
don't even know.
And Warp Tour
I
comes to
never know it
play there.
existed.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
have
pretty
to
sure
do
it's
my
New South Wales.
research on
No,
that.
you're right, man.
But yeah, I was just like, well, it was just a random place like that, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
We're random.
Yeah.
Come here.
Well, I'm pretty sure me and you have the same fucking song recommendation this week. And
Oh,
it-
yeah,
It
what's
comes in the form of an album, not a song.
Yeah, the plot in you.
You guys heard the plot in
Again,
you?
I've
I
not
can't
heard
stop jamming. I
By
recommended
who?
it last week.
Oh, the
I
band.
can't
The band
stop
is called
jamming.
The
Oh, no, I
Plot.
haven't heard.
Yeah.
You boys actually check it out. You've been that. See, they were like a, I suppose, metalcore band.
They were.
Yeah. Were, and this is a complete departure from
Yeah.
it. But fuck, it is so
Yeah.
good.
It's like soft rock with R&B elements. It's,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
it's
But
Oh,
really
he's
cool.
like singing R&B style with
Yeah.
a rock background, like from a rock. And there's
So
like.
good.
we
He's like
honestly
whispering,
listen to
his
everything.
voice is like shitting out, but it sounds amazing. Like it's on purpose.
Yeah,
It
yeah, of
sounds
course.
amazing. It's such a different album. Like it's quite different. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're all down for any diversity. Hey, we listen to anything from pop punk to orchestrated, random, whatever. Like, we listen to
Yeah.
anything and everything. as long
Metallica
as it-
S&M is my shit.
yeah,
Oh,
as long as
bro.
it
So
sounds
when-
good.
Have you seen like or heard the orchestra?
Dude.
Dude.
I used to watch that every day when I was
Oh,
young,
man.
eh?
Master of
Puppets.
Puppets. Like the orchestrated.
Gets you going.
I know the
Gets
whole
you
thing
going.
off, but like
The orchestra for Call of Cthulhu on that is ridiculous. It's
so good.
Yeah.
Mental.
I remember this band back in the day called Phoenix TX had a song. They were a pop punk band.
Oh, were
Had a
they like
song
Phoenix
called-
T and lowercase X?
Yeah.
I feel like I know
love
that
They were a
name
pop
from
punk
somewhere.
band. You would have
Yeah.
known. And they had a song called Pasture of Muppets. And I was like, that was the best fucking
my
song.
God.
How fucking dare you?
Honestly, I was like, fuck, I wish I thought. That's the
That's a
best
hell
shit.
funny
You
name.
didn't have
hey.
some balls to be able to do that.
I know, right? Especially against Metallica. It's like,
Yeah, if you check out that Plot in You album, I would go with The One You Loved. I
yeah,
think
no,
One You
definitely,
Loved,
man.
Plot in
The
You.
song-
Man, that what's that second last
Always
Yeah.
song
some new
too?
stuff to listen to. Hey,
The One You
Always
Loved, The Sound, or Feel Nothing. Any one of those. are
Even
great.
that
Yeah.
last song, some of their lyrics are so raw on it,
Yeah.
and I'm just that's so abrasive. But
It's like
put
the intro
so
to
well.
one song is like, I could have fucked her for days. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, I heard that.
well,
I
there
was
you
like,
go.
that's good.
But sometimes you need to get to that point. Like even some of our songs, obviously not as abrasive as that, but we've had to be more abrasive out of our comfort zone. Be real with what we're saying and just be like,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Don't need to beat around the bush with
Yeah,
what this
definitely,
ulterior,
yeah.
whatever it is. Like it's just that.
Well, there's something, there's like obviously artistically something to that. Like sometimes you
Oh, of
want to
course.
drench everything in metaphor and
Everything's
whatever.
there
But
for a reason.
sometimes it's you just want to say how you feel.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
gotta
And
be
sometimes the
done.
reason is just that. Just
Yeah.
saying it.
It's got to be written well, like
Of
you
course.
can't. You just got to use
It's got to have its place.
well-written lyrics, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And
If you're
there's still-
saying it straight up and it's predictable and you can guess every last
Yeah.
rhyming word, you're
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
don't,
And on top of
don't
that,
do that.
it's the way the music compensates like all of that as well, because like you can have like the best or whatever, but if it's all just not culminated in the right way, it just doesn't fit, because you could probably some songs might even have the same, like a very similar melody throughout the whole song. It's the way the production is and the way that they've twisted certain things to make it relevant throughout the whole song and keep interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So with that, we'll leave you with. Usually we get the band to pick their favorite song, but you guys have only got one song out at the moment, so we're gonna.
That's
Early
it.
days.
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited.
Intoxicating.
I'm really excited to hear the next one because I fucking love this song.
Thanks.
I really like
We
it.
can't wait to
Yeah.
get it out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're pumped. So excited.
Yeah, I bet you've just sitting on them so painful
Oh, yeah.
for you guys.
Oh,
So
yeah.
too patiently.
They're in my pocket. They're right there.
Too patiently.
So
man.
the song is called Saints of the Sinners, and it's by the Faim, and we've got Josh and Stephen, and thanks very much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
And just like
Thank
to
you,
say,
man.
I reckon you boys are going to be huge, and I can't wait to watch his grow. And
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
so
Thanks, man.
I hope
Appreciate
you
that.
kill it, eh? Like, I really do.
With the amount of
Thank you,
hard
man.
work you guys are putting in, I think you'll go very
cheers,
far.
dude.
So.
With the amount of incredible support from people like you and the rest of people in Perth, I'm sure
There
we,
you go.
we will.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you back on, maybe like when you got some time after you put the record out, or we can talk some more shit, drink some
Definitely.
more
Yeah.
beers.
Oh, we'd
and-
love to,
We'd be
man.
stoked.
Yeah.
Stoked to be
man.
back.
Cool,
Easy.
boys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
It was awesome.
Yeah.